taking an inch off, so however long that takes to get back here. So Josh will be joining us later on. So I want to say hi to everybody that's on. I realize it is an early morning for some of us, but it's nice to be here. Just seeing if anybody's online, if I'm online, to test out, because I see there's a Mark Finley and I see Mr. Blonde, but it says there are 0 viewers. So I'm trying to make sure everything's working right. I see there's a Kathy Walters on here. Good morning, Mom. So if I'm actually talking, you just saw me drinking something. Okay. So there are people on here, right? This is what I love when I use all this different software and stuff. You're not really sure what shows up. Hey, Harry. Indutrini, good morning. Sue, good to be with you. Cider Headshot from Tokyo, awesome. Yeah, means to travel, Liz. I hope you're doing well. I hope Derek Sleepyhead is doing well as well with his new coiffed hair. Always very nice, always very nice. Corner taken quickly, hi. Hey, Michael Mann, good to see you up on here. Sawa, Zaid, hey, good morning, good morning. Mache Tezier, good to see you. Rochelle Whitaker. Oh, yeah, Raquel Mueller, good evening from Japan. Oh, good. Oh, Tasha in Nova Scotia, good to see you. Larry. Larry Moreland finding some good stuff. My local bar was allowing New Orleans-style plastic cups to go yesterday. So New Orleans plastic cup. Wait, oh, do you mean the small ones? I was thinking the big beers you can get, which are like twice this size in a cup. So some fun things. Thomas Reiser, our first bumper into of fellow travelers out and about. D, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We are doing good. Paul, good to see you. Jimmy UK, glad I could be back on here. We are doing well. Lovely place to visit. Greetings from Romania. Good to have you on there. Another one of our places that have got pushed back probably till next year. Def Leppard Rock Rules Rock. Well, see, Jocelyn's not here to make sure I say it right. So many awesome people on here this morning. This is great. Stephen Mosier from Denver. Alex Lucas. Alex, you're in Maryland? You're not in lovely Illinois studying hard for your class? Hey, Sarah Phillips on Facebook. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, F. Captain in Holland. Nice. So in my never-ending quest to getting things to work and be able to do these live feeds better, I've switched to my older computer because I've found that this one has less drops. So I'm trying this out to see if this will work better. So hopefully it will. But the funny thing is now, my stream that I have, you don't see it, it's on my screen here, which puts it all together, doesn't automatically roll. So we have to keep pushing up. So if I don't say hi, it's not because I'm skipping you. It's just that it's being a little temperamental. John and Kare, retired travelers. Those are the best kind. Very nice. Infinite Horizons. Nice to see you on here. Pablo in Bruges. Oh, I am jealous. Could you go have some mussels and beer for me and some fries and just say, this is for Mark? And I'll really appreciate that. Hey, Chanel Chauvet. Hello from Switzerland. Good to see you. The Traveler. We're doing well. We're doing well. So Tim asks, how long until I can travel to my beloved Spain from Pennsylvania? Here's the thing. Spain is opening up for European travelers and without quarantines and stuff like that. But there's not really been any hard set rules when non-Europeans can go back to some of these countries. I know we have trips planned for the end of the summer, which we'll go into some other issues why that probably won't be able to happen. But yeah, it just depends when they open it up for non-Europeans to go back, for Americans to go, or Canadians or Japanese tourists, all those things. Dee's asking, where's Jocelyn? We don't want to see Mark. He's just not as awesome as she is. Thanks, Dee. Jocelyn is getting her haircut. So she finally got a chance to get in, and as my mom, if you were on our live feed last week, not this Wednesday, we just had the Wednesday before, we were visiting my parents, and my mom and my dad got to go on Friday last week when it finally opened up, and they're like, we have to go. My mom's like, we can go now or we can go in 2 weeks, because she was so full, because they have restrictions like you wait in your car, and then they'll see you in the parking lot, and then they'll call you after they've disinfected the stuff, then to come in. So yeah, so Jocelyn's doing that. So when she comes back, her hair will be almost as beautiful as mine. Mine's getting a little long. I probably need to get a little trim there. So there is that. So hey, Def Leppard Rock Rules, thank you very much for the super chat, man. So it says the president hinted at reopening the USA to Europe soon. When that happens, we'll be able to visit again. So here's the thing. It could be one way where the US says you can go, but it's also, hey, who will take you in? That's why like Iceland is ready to let people in, no problem. I think June 15th or something like that. So that might be one of the options people actually do have is like, look, that's the only thing we have. So you're probably going to see countries that will then fight over who can get in there first. Because there's going to be a bent up demand for the tourism dollars and stuff like that. And that's what you saw is when Spain announced we're going to open up to anybody, we're going to drop the quarantines and all that stuff. You saw other countries doing the same thing because there is that competition for that tourist dollars because there's so much, because it's now 3 months of no tourism dollars or euros or yen or anything coming in. And that's really disastrous for a lot of culture or a lot of economies. So you're going to see some of those things there. Okay. Time and chance. When can you go to COVID-free Antarctica? Well, since most of the tours got canceled or postponed, it's going to be a bit. But yeah, there's still some people there that are hiding out. If Jocelyn was there, Mark would be covered in the comments over the screen. Yeah, that's the one where you have those things. Like that's what's weird because now your comments aren't showing up over here. And because I'm trying to have it with the stream going, but yeah, see, there's one now. So that's one of the things this system I'm using is a little bit meh. But this is the way I can have stuff for our Facebook fans and I can have our YouTube fans going. So occasionally those things pop up. But if you're watching on YouTube, you know, if you're on your phone down at the bottom, it'll if you hold it this way, you'll be able to see the comments more. And if you're on Facebook, they pop up on the side, so you can do that. So hopefully that will help out. Paul Timm says still no haircuts in the UK until July, so everyone will be all ragamuffin-y. I love it. So Footy Surfer asks, have I ever been to Swansea? I've been through Swansea. I did not stay there and film, and because that was, oh my gosh, I think that was like when they opened the Millennium Dome in Cardiff. I was there like 6 months later, and that's when I went through Swansea. So it's been so long that it wouldn't be worth it for me to even bring it up. Okay. So Najib Sultan points out Portugal's allowing tourists right now, but oh my God, the price of these plane tickets are really hurting my feelings. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is now when it opens up, you've had no demand. Now you have huge demand, but limited supply of tickets. That's where things are going to be interesting. And because some things are getting canceled or not. I mean, we have a trip to France, Germany and France, and I got an email 2 days ago from the hotel in Paris saying, your thing's canceled. And they didn't say why. I wrote them back like, hey, why is it canceled? You know, and they're like, I mean, I got a triple and another room and you know, I'm not like, you know, skimping out. Like you want to get, they're like, no, because the rules, we're closed because of COVID and through August 31st. And that was because of a smaller hotel in Paris. And I'm like, oh, wow. So that's one of the things you might see is you might be able to get places, but you might not be able to get a place to stay. I mean, it's just really, really, really tough. Oh, Eric Zwartz just flexing his new 6-month member badge. Thank you very much. Laura in Ohio, good to see you. Fotis, George Aras. Hi, Mark and Jocelyn. We love you both. Okay, Jocelyn, a little bit more. From Athens. I understand. I love her more too. She is quite wonderful. Hey, Gallivanting Gals on here. Good to see you. Lakiel, nice. Mache. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Angela Cummings, does anyone have any info on Finland opening up? I don't have any dates yet for that one. I was looking for that as well because you know, like in the U.S., we have a lot of spots that are very much more nature-based. And so people are looking for more to that. And in Scandinavia, you really have more of a nature-based vacation. Poland as well. And I think those will be kind of popular places within Europe for people to go to kind of be away from people when they travel, as opposed to the city visits with lots of people around and stuff like that. But they haven't had. Well, I haven't found the official thing yet. I can look it up. We can always look it up. That's why I have the second computer on here. As my dog's like, why aren't you playing with me? Why aren't you doing stuff? Because we went and played earlier, Brig. I know. I love you too. I love you too. Ow! Okay. He's like, got me pinned down. Finland opening up borders to tourists. Ow! Ow. Well, fine. Well, hopefully I'll be able to find it out. Because there's some places, I think restrictions.org have, or .com have some more information on it. Let's see. Finland. Oh, okay. That they're just saying some countries letting Finnish tourists in because Finland had a pretty good control. So Finnish tourists will be able to go places before we can go see them. So we will get there after the calm. Hey, afternoon, Mark from Stormy, UK. Hope you're all good for us. It's good for us now. Hope now travel. Now travel yet for us. No one wants anyone from the UK. Hey, I would love people from the UK. I think you're awesome. So after the calm, they're the cutest couple. God, I love them. So so you have truth or dare. Well, they have 21, which you like count 21. That person has to do truth or dare. So I did a little thing with them. So if you look up after the calm in Walter's World, you'll see a fun little 20, 30 minute video that we did with a few other travel vloggers doing stuff. So if you want to check that one out, fun time. It was a fun time. Hey, Jonah in Oregon, good to see you. Yeah, so Footy Surfer really points out a good thing. It says the UK lockdown is really interesting as Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and England have differing lockdown rules. And that's what you're going to see. It's not going to be an EU-wide. Like, there might be an EU-wide, this is what we want you to do, but it's more like, this is our suggestion. It's kind of like how Airbnb has their new suggested cleaning policies, for the host. Well, they can't force the host to do that because they're not checking every day. So it's like, we would like you to do this, but they're going to do their own thing. Akash in India, good to see you. Debbie in Australia, we are doing well. Thank you. Mache Tezier points out our 3 weeks in Europe is now turned into a 3-week road trip through some national parks. Nothing wrong with that. I know ours. We're now because our 8-week trip to Europe this summer obviously was canceled. Like, let's see, what is it? June 6th. I would be in Vienna we'd be in, I think Istanbul was this weekend. And then this week I'd have my last classes in Vienna this week. And then we go to, then that was when we went to the Bulgaria and down through there. And and then Israel was then to Italy for the rest of June. But alas, that did not happen. So that's probably going to be more next year. But we're looking at our stuff. And I think what we might do is try to do some, we're going to be visiting some more civil rights places and get more tourism stuff there. So if people are going to Memphis, we've got Memphis videos. We're going to do some more stuff so you can talk with the National Civil Rights Museum and then things you can do around there. So it's like you can see some of these really important civil rights sites. And here's the other stuff to see in this town when you go there. So it can be part of your travels this summer. So we're going to be visiting a few places. I think we'll be heading to Cincinnati, Ohio for the National Underground Railroad Museum. We are going to be going to Fusky Island. Down there, which is something we're going to talk about the Osaba Island Foundation later on when Jocelyn gets back. With the Gullah, we're going to be there. I think we'll be in Alabama for some of the Civil Rights Trail because we're doing a kind of a loop around. So we're going to try to get some more of these things so people can see, like, look, there's some amazing museums and sites you can see when you're doing your road trip this summer to learn more about African American culture and other cultures around the U.S. So it's one of the things we can really try to do. Mr. Blonde, we'll be in Selma this summer. When we come back up through our kind of loop tour, because that's what I think we're going to end up doing, to try to showcase more places. Really, Brig? You're barking at me already? You got to go poop? So we're going to be looking at those things. So Judy Fuller is asking, hey, I was wondering about travel to Belgium in October. Well, I'm going to guess by October you'll be able to go. That would be my guess. We have plans for September, October, November. We have those. I'm not worried about those ones. July and August, that's the ones I'm more worried about. But when you're getting towards the fall, I think unless there's like a really big respike in COVID, I don't think they're going to have as many of the restrictions. And where's the dog? There he is. I'm going to let the dog out real quick, and we're going to talk about some of the TSA changes. And I'm going to give a shout out to the Gallivanting Gals. They sent me the link on this. But I'll be right back because Brigadier needs to go out. So Brig is Brigadier's like, oh, we get to go out and play with the ball. I'm like, I'm working, dude. I'm working. So, see, he was wanting to play. Because that's what I did. Because I was trying to, like, chill him out beforehand with the ball. So he'd be like, but he's like wired up. It's like your kids. They just get wired up when you start playing with them too late. You're like, oh, no. So there is that. Anything. All right. Scrolling through, wow, this thing not scrolling by for me and not showing you too much over here. Need to really work. It makes it a little tough. Okay. So Emily says, I turn 30 next June. Congratulations. And we want to go on a family trip. Our kids will be 4 and 2. Perfect age to travel. You'll be fine. Should we do a road trip from St. Louis to Florida and just explore Florida, or drive to a cruise port in Florida and do a Caribbean cruise? Okay, since you're going with your kids and they're that little, on cruise ships, they've got, like, do your research on the cruise ship to make sure they have, like, play areas, but also they have the babysitting play areas where you can, like, leave your kids at kids camp. And so they have activities for the kids all day. And so what you'll do is you two lovebirds can go, and if you're on with your spouse or your partner or whatever, you guys can have some time yourselves and the kids can do their things because they do a lot of activities that way. That's why it's really important to look and see what's on offer. And then when you hit the stops, you can take the kids off and see that. You will need to get passports for everybody. So you have that. The kids' ones last for 5 years, which we have a problem with now because Liam's is about 8 months until it expires, and you can't travel within 6 months. So we're really trying to, and you can't get new passports right now. It's only for life and death stuff. They're doing that because they've shut it down. And some people are saying up to 9 months wait. So we're not sure what's going to happen with that, but that's something to look into, of getting those passports for them. Another thing I would say, because if you're going to go down there anyway, I mean, it kind of understand. If you just want to just sit and relax and have the cruise, I think that'd be a fun thing to do. Also, to give the kids a chance to see some new stuff. And your kids are little, and they'll remember some of it. But what's important is you'll remember that trip, and it's your 30th. We got to do this with the kids. I think that'd be really wonderful. So that would be my advice there. Oh, and Kelly, thank you. In Cincy, head over to the Netherlands Hotel, walking distance from the museum. It's a beautiful hotel. Take the kids up to the roof for a great view of the river and museum. Oh, cool. Yeah, because what we're going to do, because we're in Illinois, we'll loop around, go through Indianapolis to Cincinnati, and then go down through the Smoky Mountains, through that way, through Asheville, and then the Research Triangle, then come down South Carolina, Savannah, and then come back around, going down through Alabama, and then up through Tennessee, a kind of a southeast circle to hit a lot of the sites of the civil rights stuff, so we can help promote more people going to see some of those sites. Because sometimes you don't realize this when you're driving, there might be a town on your road trip, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that was there. Hey, we could check that out. And it's something, maybe it's just a half day or a day you go and you get back on the road later in the day to do that. So that's what we're going to try to do. But also when we're going to talk about these sites to see, we're also going to give other things. For example, in Kansas City, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum there, honestly, one of the best new museums in the United States. They're having a hard time getting a lot of people to visit. They shouldn't, because that museum is put together so well. Because a lot of people, I think, they think it's like a Hall of Fame kind of thing. Because you go to Baseball Hall of Fame, the Hockey Hall of Fame, it's great because it has all the memorabilia and stuff like that. But this one has the story. So you really see what those players went through when they would go to, games and stuff like that. And the stories they tell about how when they went to Japan, they were heroes when they went and how good they were. Then they come back and they have a mock-up or whatever. It's actual size room that they would have stayed in on their road trips and stuff like that. So it's an incredible museum. I really recommend to go visit. When I was there, they didn't let you take pictures inside, so I don't have any pictures from inside, but it is an incredible thing. And so it's one of those, hey, if you're in Kansas City, visit that, but right in the same building. American Jazz Museum's there. Gates Barbecue is a few blocks down, so you can have some amazing food. So we're going to try to make it so people can hey, you know what? If I'm within an hour or 2 hours, I could just drive there for the day and see some stuff and do that. So, but Kelly, I appreciate that help for the Cincinnati one. So that's part of our plan up there. Turn it up, world. So our buddies, Tanya and Dave, they're in Vegas now, showing all of the new stuff opening up. So every night I'm going to bed and they're out hey, here's what's going on the Strip. Here's what's going on in Freeport. Not Freeport, but downtown. And they're hilarious. So definitely go check out their channel and see what's going on. So you're hey, what's Vegas like now? They're giving you all kinds of stuff and they're awesome. We actually did an interview, like chat with them on YouTube on their channel. So look up Turn Up World. Walter, you can find us on there. But they are fantastic. So definitely check them out. Yes, Alyssa Palmer points out, yeah, the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis is very moving. Yeah, it is extremely moving. I mean, I cannot recommend it enough for people when they go. And when you're there, you can have that. Then you can walk over to Beale Street for like the Beale Street experience with also the fun side, but also the historic side of it when you're there. So it is pretty cool. Mr. Blonde, it's great to see you regain some of your lost subscribers. Let's get to sub 100,000. Yeah. So travel videos for us are finally starting to come back a little. I mean, I know other travel channels are already back, but since ours is very much a planning channel and people aren't planning to travel, it hasn't come back. But now it's starting to. I'd say that in the last week, I think we're only down about 60%. We were down about 90%. So now we're only down 60% where we usually are. So it's coming back. And I understand for a lot of people, I mean, planning travel isn't really an option right now because it's so expensive. Hey, Caleb or Liam, could you let Brig in? Thank you. See, he tried to sneak down to go play Xbox. That helped me out. Shouldn't he be sleeping like another 2 or 3 hours? I'm too loud. I'm sorry. I'm too loud. So, so we were over at Grandma and Grandpa's house the last week, and Caleb's like, I'm like, why is he awake? Because he usually sleeps till like noon. It's because Grandma and Grandpa have been waking him up like early, so he's like, ugh. So there was a comment just went by. I lost the name. And they said that their wife works as a travel agent, and they're getting a lot of people booking for early 2021 for travel again. So yeah, I think next year it's going to be a boom compared to this year, but I don't think it'll be the levels it was before, just because of the economic impact of all this. So Dave DeFore says, hey, did I just hear you say no hotels in Paris August 31st? That was our hotel. That was Le Pic, 29 Le Pic in where we usually stay. That's not all hotels. That's just ours. So I think that what they're doing is like, look, it's not worth it for us to do all this special stuff. We're just going to close for the tourist season and be done with it. So I think that's what happened. That's not all hotels, so don't worry about that. So Jennifer Benzie, so our kids' summer holidays start next month during lockdown, but are being brought back earlier. So this is meant to be summer holiday time. It stinks. How can we holiday when we can't travel? That is a question that a lot of families are going through. I know for us, because, I mean, think about it, our kids have been homeschooled, and let's be honest, like it's homeschool and video gaming every day. And so they've had like pseudo summer vacation, but not really summer vacation. And now when you're like, okay, we're all kind of a little bit more free. We don't have to have the fights over homeschooling or do your homework or whatever. And now it's kind of like, let's do nothing. It is really tough. I know for us, we've been a little bit more lax, like with the amount of time they get to play video games and watch movies and stuff. So we're kind of more relaxed on it, but it is tough. Oh yeah, sorry. Alyssa was talking about the Steamboat Arabia Museum in Kansas City. Yeah, worth visiting as well. Hey Darian, good to see you up on here. So something to kind of think about when you are there. Mr. Blonde points out, please like the live stream. Yes, please. If you're watching us on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, please click that like button so we can help out some more people and talk more travel with more travelers. So there is that. Hey, Christian Valdez. Oh, you're in Memphis. Very nice. I think we'll be passing through later this summer. Okay, so Cindy Malden writes, I want to go to Washington, D.C. to the Holocaust Museum and the Smithsonian. What do you think about that place? It is beyond moving. Our buddy Rob from TripHacks DC, he's got videos on it. I suggest you go check that out. But he always says, like, look, if you go see it, that will be your last museum of the day because it's so moving and just like you're emotionally spent when you come out of it. So just be ready for that when you do go. Oh, Shakes was the one who was talking about his wife was the travel agent that was seeing the bookings for next year. Yes, Debbie, I hope we can all book more trips there. Yeah, Michael Mont's talking about Trip Hacks for DC for that. Mercedes, their Chinese vacation was canceled. So you're going to Yellowstone. That's awesome. I'm glad you can find some other stuff. Pluro San Juan, I want a haircut. Jocelyn's actually out getting her haircut right now. So that's nice. We're getting some more people getting some things done. Oh, wow. Let's see. Oh, thank you very much, Def Leppard Rules Rock, for the super chat. It says, I saw an article about Spain reopening to tourists from overseas. Any clarity on what they mean on that? Does it mean the USA and Canada? So that would theoretically mean overseas, meaning Americans and stuff like that. But it could be that you have to fly a direct flight into Spain if like Germans aren't allowing non-Europeans in. And that's the thing is you're not getting a ton of clarification. What you're getting is people are saying one thing and then, but it's like there's no rule to go along with it. And I've been asking people like, what does this mean? And they're like, we don't know. Like we can't really say. I'm like, could you be a little bit more like helpful here? And they haven't been able to give much more information. And that's what's really frustrating because we've been getting a lot of questions from people as well. Asking about things opening up and when is it we can travel. And they say we can travel because like Europe, when they say break, climb, go. Briggs all about, because he had his doggy sitter, who's my 6'7" cousin who gets up really early in the morning and plays with him all the time. Yes, I know I'm a horrible dog dad. Hate me all. But there's that. So Def Leppard Rock's rule. It really will depend how you're flying in, when you're flying in. And I mean, I've talked to airlines and even they're like, we're looking for more guidance as well. So see what's there. But I mean, for that one, if overseas is not Spaniards from the European Union, it's not going to be a problem. But coming from the U.S., I mean, that's what you're going to see is the ones that really open and say, no, we'll take people in. It's fine. They'll be getting the tourist dollars first and the bucket loads. So that's why you start seeing like Spain and Portugal going to open up, probably Italy and Greece are going to open up because like, oh, we'll take the tourist money. And the other places, they'll see what they have. Dave DeFour, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. And I'm glad you like the videos. That is awesome. I really appreciate that. So Axel says, people who don't live in Europe can travel to Spain from July 1st. Awesome. Mr. Blonde, yes, when Jocelyn comes in, you will get to see her. I promise I will not stop the live feed until Jocelyn has come and she can, show her new do. Of course, if it goes badly, you're all going to say it's wonderful. Okay? Just putting that out there. Oh, the History Underground. Great to see you on here. Wait, History Underground's on here? Awesome. We did an interview with him, I don't know, a couple months ago. Really, really good stuff. You want to have more of the background history, like in Normandy and other places like battlefields and stuff like that. Really good job. Really a fantastic educational history site for like things you don't know about with history and background. So definitely check out Underground History if you get a chance. Footy Surfer 1981. Favorite place to visit in the British Isles? Wow, that's tough. I think I love York. Jocelyn loves Bath. We all love, Scotland is too broad. I think Isle of Skye, but actually a little town right outside Isle of Skye called Plockton. That's one thing. Jocelyn loves Inverness. For me, I like just driving on the back roads and like through villages, and just stopping at a pub and grabbing a bite and meeting locals and stuff like that. That's what I really like. Oh, Sahil, my buddy in Delft. Good to see you on here. Let's see. Okay, so Wise and Toast asks, would there be issues returning to the U.S. at this point if other countries open up? They might have like, hey, you should self-quarantine or stuff like that. But again, we're not getting a lot of guidance right now. But this is why actually I'm filming this video after this. I'm going to go film this video to put this up later today. Because on June 4th, 2020, thank you, Gallivanting Gals, I'm pointing this out to me. The TSA came up with some new TSA response to COVID-19. So one thing, the security checkpoints, because this is a nice way to say the lines will be super long. They're basically saying health and safety is our top priority for our employees and traveling public. There will be some adjustments. So passenger volume, they're consolidating the screening operation because there's so few less travelers. That means there's going to be less checks. So it means you're going to have longer lines because more people going through one instead of two security checks or gates and stuff like that. So expect super long lines. Social distancing, do expect markers on the floor. Adjustments include metering passengers to increase distance between individuals at the checkpoints, placing visual reminders of appropriate spacing on the floors, staggering the use of lanes and security checkpoints, longer line, longer line, longer line. Now, one thing that I think you want to really know, cleaning and disinfecting. TSA has issued guidelines to their employees to conduct routine cleaning and disinfecting of surfaces. And here's one that made me go, what? Is you can ask them to use a fresh pair of gloves if you're going to get patted down. And using new explosive trace detecting swabs on each person. So they were using the same ones over and over again. I was like, interesting. But one thing that is different, you remember how we had like the 3 ounces or less, the 100 mils or less liquids? They still have the 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters in the 1 quart size bag. They still have that. But in addition, you can have one 12-ounce bottle of hand sanitizer. So that's kind of a big thing there. And also, I know for a lot of people, their driver's license have expired and they haven't been able to get new ones. So their TSA, that's a really big one. Expired driver license and real ID extension. So your driver's license, they will use it. They will accept an expired driver's license up to a year after it's expired. That's what it says here. And also the real ID compliant driver's license deadline, that changed already, but that you don't have to have the real ID to fly as an ID until October 1st, 2021. So they have changed a few things out there, so just something to look out for. We are going to be putting a video out about all that stuff here in a little while, so we will have those. Let's see. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff. Okay, so Shake says right now 14-day quarantine in Canada when arriving. Not sure how long it will last. Yeah, we're seeing some different. I mean, you're going to see different stuff if we have a spike after other things been going on the last couple of weeks. If you have a big spike coming, then you'll probably see some more lockdowns coming. So it is kind of a thing. Cheryl in Israel. Hello. So we were going to be going to Israel in November, and that got postponed to this June, and that now got canceled because of this stuff. So I'm hoping to get to Israel one of these days because I really want to go. That's one of, like, Israel, Egypt. I think for me, Israel and Egypt are the 2 places I haven't been in the world that I really, 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 really want to go to. And it's stupid that I haven't been to both of them. But, now they get canceled. So hopefully things will make it possible for us to be able to go there and visit, okay? Oh, her husband's heading over to Germany tomorrow from the U.S. That's cool. Oh, and make sure, give yourself a ton more time and a ton more patience when you go to the airport. We actually have videos on how the airport's going to change, how airlines are going to change. The hotel change video, I need to edit that. So we'll be getting that one. Hopefully, I know I've been saying that for like this Wednesday for like 3 weeks in a row. I will get there. For those of you who don't know, my day job, I'm actually a college professor, and I'm teaching a summer course, and the summer course is online, and it's a 16-week course condensed into 3 weeks. So, yeah, that is my entire life right now is working on that class and putting those things together. So I apologize for that. Ross Cameron has a good question. How have U.S. airlines and companies been with refunding customers for canceled flights? I've been waiting for 10 weeks since my flight was canceled. EU law says that companies have to refund within 14 days of a canceled flight. So Ross, depends on the airline. We had no problem with Delta. I mean, the money was there like almost instantly when it was canceled. A lot of the companies that did like off the bat. First off, what you have to realize, if you cancel a flight, if you did not buy a ticket that had the cancellation option, they don't have to give you anything. But a lot of them are just giving you the credit, so you can have the credit there. Because if you buy a non-refundable ticket, it doesn't matter about COVID unless they cancel the flight. If they cancel the flight, then they have to give you your money back. If it's like a U.S. carrier and stuff like that. And I know I read an article about EU airlines were like pushing back against the law, saying we don't have the cash to pay them back. We don't want to pay them back. We're going to give them the credit. It's going to hurt our business. But look, the law is the law, so they're going to have to like pay you back eventually, theoretically. I know in the U.S., when people have had problems, when they threatened to file a complaint with the Department of Transportation against the airline, they've gotten a lot better, like they've gotten their money back faster. So that is one thing there. Because you can file a complaint. I mean, that's what it's there for. And you know what? If that gets you to the top of the line to get your cash, because right now I know a lot of people are hurting. I know, because we had a bunch of stuff canceled, so we've got all this e-credit. And then we had our big flights we had 4 tickets to Europe, and so that's, it's quite a bit of money. And I'm like, I don't need the e-credit. I've got enough. I need the money to pay my bills. And so we got the money back so we could pay our bills. And so that really helped. And so Delta was really cool about that. So something to think about. Renee, I ain't flying nowhere. Probably good choice right now. Let's see. Florida's had some more cases. Yeah, Renee's, I got nobody to watch my dogs. Yeah, that is the tough thing for us, because I'm also looking, because we're also looking if we need to take our dog with us, because our dog sitter, who is very happy to come dog sit for us because he was stuck at his house with his parents, and he's a very tall guy and had to bunk bed it with his brother. He was like, yeah, I'll come watch your house. I'll know whatever you need. But he might have a job, so therefore we're trying to, on our trip, I'm trying to find locations we can get that we can actually take our lovely Brigadier, who's now sleeping, take him with us since he's a bigger puppy. Not really a puppy, but he's our puppy, and that's what matters. He's an old man puppy. Well, not an old man. He's a middle-aged dog. He likes his naps. Occasionally has energy. That is. Pet of the Great in the Czech Republic. Oh, I miss you. I was going to be there with my students this summer. I miss the Czech Republic. And if you go to the Czech Republic, remember, it's not, Prague's amazing. You guys know it's one of my top 3 places in Europe. But there's other amazing places to visit. Jesse Krumelov's cool. Going to Pilsen and doing the brewery tour and going to the town. But it's funny, like the brewery, train stations here, breweries over here, the historic centers over there. So you got kind of a hike between them. But it's real well worth visiting. Some other really nice towns to go to. I was in Ostrava back in my college days for some college parties, and we had some good times. Good times. In Garcia, I'm a marketing professor. That's what I teach. Let's see. Yeah, Sonia MUC. I'm waiting for 13 weeks now for a refund or cancel flights from Munich. Still hoping. I would definitely send them reminder emails, write the letter, and see, look up the European thing. Who is the agency you'd file a complaint with? Because sometimes that's what you have to do. Because the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, is true. So that's something to kind of think about. So Thomas Reiser points out, probably better to get the global entry. It includes TSA Precheck and fast customs clearance. Yeah, with that. But the thing is, what you have to realize is with all these changes, your TSA Precheck might not be as beneficial as it used to be. So if you're used to getting the quick TSA Precheck and not have to worry about the long lines, the Precheck is still going to have long lines because of all the social distancing. So it will still take more time. Oh my good. We lived in Tunbridge Wells 10 years. Wow. I spent quite a bit of time in Royal Tunbridge Wells. I dated a girl from there many moons ago. So that is a small world. Oh, Baggy T. I'm glad that Baggy T's on here. Because Baggy T was saying, it's like, dude, your Wednesday night ones, I'm sleeping. I need some of my rest, my beauty sleep. So I'm glad we could have this one on Saturday to get you on here, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, Shakes is pointing out that some carriers are giving up to 2 years of e-credit, which is great. I know I have credit, and here's my thing. I have credit that I lost because I couldn't use it. So I have hey, could I get that $1,000 of credit back? It's for this thing. So, hey. Using them in live. Thank you very much for the $2 or the super chat, $2. That's very nice of you. Is it worth it to get TSA Precheck? That's what Thomas was saying. Global entry. You can get that when it's included with it. But I will say, even if you don't want to get global entry, TSA Precheck is so worth it because you get to skip. There's still lines, but just so much easier. I don't have to take out my belt. I don't have to take all my stuff out. It's fantastic. And now we have to get it because Caleb's going to be 14 and he has to get his own one. So now it's we got to go through the whole process again, but it is very much, if you can get it. You'll go in, it depends where you're at. We went to the office in the Indianapolis airport, they fingerprinted us and we answered the questions, passport stuff. And then we got an email and a letter in the mail say, hey, it works now. You're fine. You don't have a card. It's just automatically kind of attached digitally to your passport. So that was kind of nice. And thank you very much for the super chat. Oh, there's another one. Victoria Gabe. I have a flight in late September for Italy. I'm leered to keep booking hotels and tickets in case the borders don't open. Any thoughts? So late September, I think things will be pretty much open there. But what I would say, what you have to realize is since tourism is going to be coming back and if things are going well, those things will book up, things will be opening up again. Make sure whatever you're booking, the hotels you're booking, check their cancellation policies. If they're like 30 days or before, well, you have until late August to make the thing to get your money back. Or if you have it where it's, oh, we just hold your reservations, like you use a third party one, like Bookings gives you like, oh, you have 30 days beforehand, you can cancel. You'll probably know by the end of August what's going on. Look at something that way because that can really save you money. Because what's happened is a lot of people booked and like, what gets me are the hotels that say, oh, you can pay this price. But if you want buy the insurance just in case. I'm like, if you have a cancellation policy, I should be fine, right? So look at that cancellation policy at those hotels because some are like, oh, 24 hours beforehand. Or, hey, if you cancel, we keep the first day, or you have 30 days before. Definitely check those things out and see what's there. So I hope that can help. Randall McNair, thank you very much for the super chat. That's really nice of you. And I want to say thank you to Mark Finley and Michael Munn, It Means to Travel, and all of our moderators on here helping to keep everything on the up and up. I really appreciate it because with the Streamlabs I'm using, I don't get to see all the stuff. Like usually I can go and ban stuff and things like that or hide stuff, and this one doesn't let me do that. So I have to give 1,000 thank yous to our moderators out there. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for this. And putting things out, and don't worry if I miss your questions. I'm not trying to skip you. It's just these things get a little crazy. Oh, Giselle Rivera, hello Mark and Jocelyn. I got my Pause the World shirt. We'll be wearing it today. Awesome, I'm so glad. Yeah, so our buddies who make our Pause the World shirts and our other shirts, our Walter's World gear. At waltersworld.store, you can grab some of our gear there. They are back to work, so they've been able to make stuff and ship it out. So that's been really great because we've been getting some pictures from people sending their pictures with their Pause the World shirts. That's just awesome. David Vilches says Netherlands is opening for June 15th for select airlines. So, yep. So Darius Johnson, any suggestions on Hawaii? I know it's a big island, but me and my wife will be there for 2 weeks. Ooh. It's going to be pricey. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to need to have your own, rent a car so you have your own transportation to get around. Get up really early to go to is that on the main Big Island? When you go see the Volcano National Park, like that is just incredible. You'll have some good times. Oh. Animal Lover, what to wear in Italy, Greece in the fall. If you're looking like September, October, Italy will be different in the north versus the south. Like the south in September, it's still pretty. If you're coming from the U.S., it's still summer weather, relatively speaking. Later in the north, you got pants and maybe a long sleeve shirt. I would take maybe a light jacket and then you'll be fine. In Greece, a windbreaker and you'll be fine. So let's get down here some more. Let's see. Oh, we'll jump there. So Roxanne Butler says, hi there, Miss Wednesday night, and here you are on Saturday. Thank you for being here and helping us with our travel questions. Not trying as of yet, but hope to soon. Roxanne, I'm glad we can be. Comcast had outages all over the U.S. on Wednesday, and that's who our internet provider was, so that's why we're having all kinds of issues, because it wasn't my parents' house. It was just the fact that sometimes the internet doesn't work. So today we're working better, so I'm glad we could be on. And the Whiskey Wednesdays have been awesome. And for those who don't know, the Whiskey Wednesdays, the big group Whiskey Wednesdays will be the first Wednesday of every month going forward. We're going to be having that. And then we'll have a Whiskey Wednesday for our patrons and members. So it's a smaller group. We've got there's usually about 50 to 80 people on there for that one, just chatting. It's a lot kind of a smoother chat because what happens, I have people, they've sent in questions like one we're going to talk about, do you expect, like Bruce Denham writes, I love learning about my destination when planning a trip. My travel companions never read guidebooks or research destination. We arrive with a long list of specific things that I want to do and a short list of things they want to do. How can I get my travel companions interested in planning? And so we'll actually sit and we'll talk about this more in depth. Instead of me trying to answer like 10, 20 questions in a row, we'll sit down and really go more in depth with the questions. And so it is nice. Muse, he's at midlife. Yes, my mom is adorable. She's on here. She's wonderful. Yes, Museum and Light, my moderators are superb. They are rock stars. Andreas, when Japan, I'm not sure when Japan will open. I could see them keeping it closed a little bit longer than like Europe would or the US would, but I don't know. Oh, Yenny, hello from Finland. Thanks for great content. Wondering if ticket prices will skyrocket like crazy now that planes are flying with limited capacity. Yes, they will. Because remember, supply and demand from your Econ 101 class, very little supply, high demand means prices will go through the roof. So that's why we didn't cancel a lot of our flights. We didn't cancel any of our flights for years. We let them cancel. So I'm like, look, I don't want to have to try to rebuy tickets for Ireland or rebuy tickets for England or something like that because it would just be too much. So we're kind of looking at that. And Yenny, you're in Finland. Could you have they announced anything for Finland when they're going to open up for European travelers or actually like non-European travelers? Be interesting to hear if you could let us know. Let's see. It froze up. Chris Frankie, thank you so much for the super chat. That is super awesome. I really appreciate that. And honestly, for those of you that don't know, the money that we get from the super chat, stuff like that, that helps us keep this going. So I have a ring light right here because, the lights are back there. So we bought a camera. So with the patron money, because we saved that, we went and we bought a new camera so we could film all our stuff in Africa. And we've been using that camera for years. So that's where the money goes to help us with the equipment, to get these things going so we can make the videos. So I just want to say thank you to all of you that are members and patrons and super chats. It does make a difference. It helps us make content that can help other travelers because we haven't really done any sponsorships. I mean, there's the influencers out there that make a ton of money because they take money from all these companies and say, this is the greatest product ever. And we want to keep it honest. And to keep it honest, that means when companies approach us for sponsorships, and we are open to it, we say, but look, we are all about honesty. So if your company does well, we're going to talk about what does well. If it does something badly, we're going to talk about that. And most places like, no, we want you to take our money and shut up and you're going to read our speech. And that's, I mean, it's not 9 out of 10. It's 99 times out of 100. They say, no, we don't want to work with you, which is sad. But we want to make sure we can be as independent as possible to help people out. And you'll see that we talk about products we use. Like, I love my Microsoft Surface. I mean, it's thin, it's portable, it's light, good camera. I can do a lot of stuff with it. And traveling is fantastic. I love my Manfrotto tripods. I love my Delta Airlines. These are things we actually use. And they I talk about them like they're our sponsors, but they're not. And one of those companies actually, contacted us, and I was like, hey, and it was one of those like, sorry, I can't do it. I want to, but I can't because what they were asking. So that's why your super chats, your memberships, your patrons, it makes a huge difference for us. And when you share our videos, if I would appreciate today if you could share, Brigadier, if you could share one of our Walter's World videos, your favorite one, if you can share that on your Facebook and your Facebook or Twitter or something like that to help spread the word, that would make a huge difference for us because that's how we grow, is by you sharing, your content. Hey, this is a fun video of the U.S. or a fun video of Memphis or a fun video of Germany or whatever. It does make a big difference. So I just want to say thank you for all of you that have supported us. And it's not like you have to give money or anything like that. It is a share. It is a like. It is a suggestion if one of your friends is going to Italy. Hey, it's my buddy's website. Check it out or something like that. So it does help buying the gear. So I just want to say thank you for that. So because y'all are awesome. Oh, Mary Ellen's on here. Hey, Mary Ellen. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. So amazing group. How was your trips to Japan, Mark? It was awesome. We loved it. The boys would love to go back. When our Israel trip got canceled, we had a chance to go to South Korea or Japan, and it was Aruba, but I was so burned out from work. I'm like, I just need to do nothing. And then we went to Aruba, and I'm like, I wish we would have gone to South Korea or Japan again because that's so awesome. Oh, man. Bruce Denham, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Thanks for the videos. Very helpful. We try, Bruce. We try to make it as helpful as we can to help out as many people as we can. And that's the thing is we have fans that follow us on my Professor Walters channel where I talk about YouTube, and I also teach my classes, and I'll use the example of Walter's World. So like our logo that you see, this one. Yeah, because we have so many logos. So like this one it's really about getting people, it's like, look, it doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if wherever you're in the world, we all ride that train together. Doesn't matter if you're in first class or economy or whatever. We all stand on that train track together, and we're all together traveling. And so we're like, look, our video is to help any traveler. Because that traveler on there, that could be a backpacker. That could be a family just waiting for getting on there. That could be, a business person. It could be anybody. So that's what we try to do, is to help as many people as we can travel. So that's what we hope our videos can do. No, Olivia, I've been to Japan. We were thinking of doing South Korea with Japan. I have not been. My dad used to work in South Korea, and Kathy Walters will be with me on this, that we're both pissed at my dad because he never took us to South Korea when he worked there for years. Dad, you worked there for years and didn't take us over there. Mr. Chillslot, does it cost a lot to go on vacation so many times? Yes, it does. Making the videos and doing the stuff does cost a lot. I mean, I fill out my taxes and I do go out through all the stuff. It's not a money-making hobby when you don't have the sponsorships and stuff like that. And I think what you're going to see is, since with all the sponsorship money drying up and the ad revenue drying up, you're probably going to see a lot of YouTubers probably, and not just travel, but a lot of them will either shrink or some might have to go do something else because it's not as sustainable. I know for us, last year we really tried to get to a lot of new destinations, Rwanda and Tanzania and Jamaica and stuff like that. And it was like, it was something like, oh my goodness, we cannot do that again. But it was good because we got to show people new places. And so we try to make a balance between where we go and where people want to go and where we can go. Because some people are like, you got to go here. I'm like, I can't afford to take the four of us to Switzerland for 3 weeks because there's no money tree. You know what I'm saying? So it is kind of an interesting thing. Toto, I've not been to Malaysia. Oh, somebody's here. Bill loved his visits to South Korea. That's what my mom said. Let's see. Oh, my. Oh, there she is. Hold on.
I's here.
With her new do. So what do you all think?
It's just shorter.
I think it looks fantastic. Don't you all think it looks fantastic?
Thanks, honey.
Love you.
Love you.
So...
Well, hello, everybody. What's going on?
Yeah, no one actually wanted to talk about anything. They were just, where's Jocelyn? Where's Jocelyn? Blah, 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 blah. I like Jocelyn better. Blah, 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 blah. So there is that.
I can't read that. The glare is really bad.
Sorry.
Somebody loves your philosophy. Philosophy of what? Mark has philosophy? Hang on.
Oh, about our sponsorships and stuff like that.
Thanks, y'all.
Whistle, whistle, Jocelyn.
Thank you. Adorable. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Mo, good to see you, buddy.
Mo. Oh, you took a hike and now it's raining. Well, good thing you got your hike in before it started raining, right?
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Batman, got to take a midterm due tonight. Get on that. Get on that, Mr. Batman. We'll see you later, buddy.
And a paper. Oh, a paper and a midterm?
Dude, that sucks.
That's crazy.
McLove and McMuffin. I love that. Is a great name, by the way. Hey, and Sydney. Trying to figure out when we're going to get down to see you. That whole passport. Oh, so another thing I wanted to talk about, getting passports. Now, in the U.S., it's only life or death they'll get you a passport. Otherwise, they're not doing anything because those offices closed. Until they open up again, the backlog are, they're like significantly long, like 6 to 9 months, some people are saying.
Hi, Dad.
So they're like, just wait until the offices open up again, let them get started, and then try to get something up. Because I know we have to get Liam a new one, and so I don't know what we're going to do. Let's see.
Jose Santos, we have not been to Azores nor to Madeira, but we have friends on both islands. We have really good friends on Madeira, and we have every intention of getting there. Actually, we talk about it all the time, how we need to go see Audrey and Nuno. Mm-hmm. So we'll get there. Actually, it's something we really need to do. Seriously. So, what happened to the chat just there?
Well, it's because I switched over to the multi-chat.
Oh, I see.
Oh, 11 p.m. off to bed. Okay.
11 p.m.
So Rachel says Japan is closed for most foreign nationals until the end of June. Let's see. Claire's asking, what would be the best South American country to go as a visit for a first-time travel to South America? I would probably go with Peru because the tourism infrastructure there and the number of sites you can see.
I would agree with that. Ecuador second.
So there's that. Aaron, our boys are learning Spanish right now, and that's one of the things we're looking at for going, because I don't know how this school year is going to be. Maybe we'll, get them intensive language course, and we'll go do something.
We've
there.
considered a lot of things for the fall. We don't know what we're going to do yet, but definitely something. Mr. Chills a lot. What's the most underrated country to visit? So in North, Central, South America over here, I would say Nicaragua. For Africa, Rwanda, a lot of people have fears because they think about the genocide that happened 26 years ago. But that was a remarkable place, and we loved every minute of it. Europe, what's your most underrated?
I think Slovenia.
Yeah, I think Slovenia is.
I would have said it was Portugal until about 5 or 6 years ago. Then Portugal just got overrun with tourism. They found it big time. So I would say Slovenia is a big one for sure.
Wow, Marie McInnes. We went to apply for Connor Wednesday last week, and on Saturday it was ready for pickup. That is
they're
cool.
in Sweden.
I know.
Sweden didn't lock down
That's really cool. I'm kind of jealous about that one. So yeah.
Karina Elizabeth, my husband Jeff, and I follow your trips. Hey Jeff. Hey Karina. Have helped us tons with traveling. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. We appreciate hearing such kind words.
Someone was saying that they were surprised at how much people wanted to shop when they were in Italy. The women that they were with wanted to shop, and that they needed to plug that in more. I'm going to tell you something, that's something we always and I don't know that we schedule time for. We don't schedule much of anything, but we always make room for doing the normal things, whether it's shopping or going to a grocery store, things like that, because
hey Rob,
those are really great cultural experiences. So anyway, I think that's pretty cool.
So Alyssa asked me about my day job. Mark, is your campus holding in-person classes this fall? We are at KU, but the distancing, safety, etc. are going to look very different. Also, any class more than 50 to 100 must be online. Class should be held at max 30% occupancy. So where I teach, they're going to make an announcement on June 15th, but the kind of like rough idea for them is start classes on time. They'll finish face-to-face at fall break around Thanksgiving, and then you don't come back after Thanksgiving. And then they'll finish off. Everything will be online the last 2 weeks of classes and finals. I'm going to imagine they'll have the same thing. Anything over 50 is going to be 40 or 50 will be online. I've heard some universities are doing it where it's a class like 50 people, 25 come on Tuesday, the other 25 come on Thursday, and you have to have both. So I've been planning for my stuff to be online, so I've been filming more videos and stuff to do that.
Are you drinking sweet tea? Matt Miller thinks you're drinking sweet tea.
No, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper, another Southern delicacy from Texas.
You know what? I haven't made sweet tea in about 2 weeks. I should make me some sweet tea. You know what?
Matt, I'm sorry your trip really got canceled, man. That sucks.
I am not doing a whole lot of sugar. So I've been using this monk fruit extract. If anyone cares to know about it, it's pretty amazing.
And as someone who appreciates sweets, because there's the stevia and it has that little twang kind of stuff. Monk fruit gives a much better sugar flavor.
It doesn't have that
the kids don't notice it until Joz is like, "Oh, what is it?" I'm like, "Shut up, you moron! Come on, don't give it away."
I'm not good at lying or keeping things.
Except you say, "I love you, the world." I don't feel that's always true.
What now?
Nothing.
I think
I love you, world.
he was talking nasty about me. All right. I'm sorry. This is no. We've not been to Cape Verde or Cabo Verde, as you say in Portuguese. That would be really cool. I'd love to be Cabo Verde. I said it with a Brazilian accent.
I used to have. So when I was in Portugal, when I taught in Portugal, I had quite a few students from down there, and they're like, "Dude, you got to come down and have a good time with us." I'm like, "Sounds like fun." So they were fun people I met from down there.
Yeah, we haven't been there yet. I'd like to.
Oh, Jenny Wallace, your video added so much to our trip to Vicenza and Padua.
I'm
really glad for that, Jenny. I'm glad we can help out. And for all of you that we help out with the videos, I mean, it means a lot to us that we can help other travelers because we want other people to have a better experience when they go abroad because then it makes it such a more culturally enriching experience. We try to give people those tips so when you go, you don't get upset about things. You're kind of excited for things. So,
hold on. There was something just... Okay, Dave264, if you were going to retire in a foreign country, which country would it be? That changes, partially because there's cool stuff everywhere and we want to go all over the place. But the other thing is that, the things in the countries change. Healthcare gets better or worse and how you can be covered, insurance-wise and things like that. Cost of living change. Like tons of people not too long ago went to Costa Rica, but Costa Rica it's not cheap anymore. It's not at all. It's about the same price as most things in the U.S.
So many people went there that it's actually it's become too expensive for locals, but too expensive for the retirees from the U.S. going down, and now they're looking to move someplace else. So.
Oh, the Mary Ellens are talking about taking a cruise together.
Awesome.
Isn't that fun? I'm so glad. I love the community that you guys have built. I say it all the time, but I just think it's so awesome. Absolutely love it.
Mr. Blonde, Philosophy Mark, the next channel. Oh, so just so you know, Simply Jocelyn, you can check her out with her food videos and some other fun stuff she'll be putting out there. I'll post that link later, but just look up Simply Jocelyn on YouTube and look for her face, and it'll be up on there.
Look for my face because there are like 2 other Simply Jocelyn's, but they're not nearly as cool as me, right?
That's right. Oh, we got a couple of super chats came in. Thank you very much. So Kim GK, thank you very much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. It does make a difference. Pink Lady, thank you so much as well. Oh, that's really nice. Australia.
Pink Lady as in the cocktail?
Pink Lady as she's...
or as in...
The name. Her name is Pink Lady.
Well, maybe her Pink Lady name is because of cocktails.
True.
Or the Pink Ladies. Weren't the Pink Ladies in Greece? The movie, not the country? I think they were. Okay.
Hey, Brian Smith Law. Good morning, everyone. Just checking into the YouTube chat, starting on Facebook Live. But this is where the action's at. That's funny.
Chris Bates, Mark, is the university requiring masks on campus?
I think so. Again, June 15th, we get all the they're asking us to wear masks when we come in. But this week, they're deep cleaning the university. So we're not supposed to go in this week. Or no, we're supposed, this coming week, they're going to do that. So after that, we're going to start having people come back. Actually, we have on the waltersworld.store, we actually have masks on there because that's going to be a part of travel for a while. So we have some different masks on there to get. I couldn't get the mask with the smiley face that I have because to get that would have been bajillions.
It was really expensive.
Yeah, so we have some masks that we've been using.
Hi, Mom-in-law. Thomas Reiser's on there. We ran into Thomas the other day, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. So actually, yes, it was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Colin McInnes, what are your future plans to grow Simply Jocelyn? Will you have the kids help with a recipe at some point or just Simply Jocelyn? So the kids are not into it. Liam is Caleb, is 13 and he's kind of anti anything we do.
But he did film the spicy noodle challenge with me.
He did do that. So if it's something he loves, then maybe. Liam is just getting, to that point where he's kind of getting camera shy. So when it is natural and organic for them to be on there, I will do it. I invite them. They just don't necessarily want to participate. And they did the same thing with Walter's World. And there are things they pick and do, and it's fine. There was a second part of that question that I wanted. Oh, as for having people on, I am going to do this with, friends and stuff. So I used to bartend, and I have a girlfriend who, for all of my bartending, actual training and learning, she makes these incredible historic cocktails, and she got me into it. And I do okay, but I would love to get Sandra to do this. Yeah. And she is the quintessential Southern woman, so... And she's very fun, and it would be a cool thing to have her. And then my friend Donna's going to do some. Mm-hmm. I actually filmed one last week with Mark's mom. So
we're getting all kinds of stuff. And the idea is when we go travel and we meet our friends, Jocelyn will cook a local dish with our friends in that location.
Yeah, Nana and I have already planned some things together. Yeah. She's one of our friends in Vicenza. And so, we're definitely going to do that stuff. And, I may incorporate some other things, when we're traveling. Other than just food, just girl issues, things that all we ladies can kind of, get into. So, yeah.
So let's see. Oh, Scott Neal, my buddy in the borough of Edinburgh. Miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Good people. Oh, God. We had such a fun time in Edinburgh last year. I'm sad we can't get back this year, buddy, to have a few pints together.
Hey, Rob, thanks for subscribing on Simply Jocelyn.
Yes, thank you, everybody. We're getting her up there. She should. We're looking over. We got to get the okay from Jocelyn. We've got the editing done for a tapioca video, which is not tapioca pudding. It's tapioca, these kind of pancake crepe kind of things from Brazil. So we've got that.
It's tapioca flour, as we would call it in the States, and they're cool little things. I don't know. Those I want to eat more of those. I'm actually kind of hungry for that.
Yeah,
and they're also gluten free. I try to I have a lot of I'm gluten light. I very rarely eat gluten, and so I have some things where I might just kind of focus on some of those too, occasionally for people. So
Brian says, teach a slow gin fizz on the cocktail episode. Yeah, no, I think if we meet up with Sandra, she might make
She will make up things that you've never heard of before.
But you do have with Donna, you did film a couple drink ones on there, so.
Yeah, we did.
Yes. Museum Midlife, I think you should do an episode on international drinks. I think we'll have a lot of those. That'll be a playlist. Oh, Mark Finley pointed out, so on the Simply Jocelyn channel, if you're looking for videos with Jocelyn, we made playlists about her packing videos, her kid travel videos, female safety travel, like the videos that have been Jocelyn videos from Walter's World. There's playlists on Simply Jocelyn, so you can get that as well. Because on your channel, like Jocelyn have her stuff, and some stuff she'll still be on Walter's World if she'll still join us occasionally. She'll still be on there. But we're just trying to make it a thing for her, and so it's really cool.
I cannot read this at all.
Well, I'm sorry.
Oh, Lizzie Lee, welcome to your first time chatting.
Oh, cool. Welcome.
Cool.
Let's see. Hello, Brig.
Hi, Brigadier.
Oh my God, he's like full on, like bear hugging my leg.
David Echtel's what is gluten? Gluten is comes from grains like barley and wheat, and it's just contained in. I think it's actually a protein in it, but some people have trouble digesting it. Some people are highly allergic to it, like it makes them very, very sick. It just makes me look like I'm very fat.
Yeah. Me too. I have too much gluten, right?
Or maybe that was glutton.
Well, I'm a glutton.
Thank you, Thomas.
So Mr. Means to Travel points out international cocktails would be great tie-in for your two channels. I'm thinking the Singles Polar Sling. I'm thinking Derek just wants to try every drink possible for research purposes only.
Yeah, there you go. Do I get to write off alcohol if I ever make money on my channel?
Technically, you could, but we don't. We
won't do that. But
it
sounds really cool.
Yeah. So, Mr. Chillsalot, what country is best for its food and beer? So, I'm going to go this way. I'm looking at bar snacks, beer drinking snacks. Lithuania is super underrated for their beer snacks because they have this fried bread with cheese and mayonnaise sauce on top.
This is why I'm gluten light, because I have to eat things like that.
It's phenomenal. They have so many good beer snacks to go along with it. That's not just like, oh, here's some popcorn and stuff. Straight up awesome beer food to go along with it. I highly recommend that in Lithuania. Oh my God, I could go for some, because they have this brown bread from there. Oh, the duono with the bread. So good, so good. Okay, so Colin has a question. What are your thoughts on the new handheld voice language translators for use in foreign countries? I think they're really cool. I don't know how realistic it is. Would you want somebody shoving something in your face and doing that? I mean, that's the whole thing there. You gotta really think about. They're not. Some of them are not cheap. I like the ones where it's like you have your camera and you can actually put your camera, the camera on something. It'll translate it in that text so you know what everything is. It reads it, but translates it and keeps it in that font and stuff like that. Those ones I think are really good. Here's another thing is if I'm always talking into this, then have it going that way. You don't know what translations being lost. I still always think it's good to learn a few words and you'll figure out the rest of the way because, I don't know. They're cool though. Mr.
Blonde, you can get the spicy noodles. They're just like those instant ramen noodles. You can get them at any Asian supermarket pretty much. Occasionally I'll find them at our supermarkets, but you're over in the UK, I think, so I can't really tell you.
So Fierce Mice, no, we do write off valid business expenses against report income. We do that, but anything where I feel it's questionable or anything like that, I don't just to try to avoid the audit. I've talked with my CPA and stuff like that for those things to make sure we're all on the up and up. And she's like, "You're fine. You're being over safe." I'm like, "I'd rather be over safe than audited." So we're doing that. No, I'm a Scorpio.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Someone wants to know my sign. Or maybe it was your sign. I don't know. German beer is pretty amazing. Yes, German beer is pretty amazing.
But their food sucks. No.
Josh's not a big fan of German food. their beer food, because the pretzel's nice, but I like
Beer
more
food is
variety
good.
stuff. Like U.S. actually, the bar food in the U.S. is really good. That was a video. I've been talking to a bar in my hometown about filming there, but since everything's closed, I can't go in. We're gonna have a video on the best American bar foods, like snacks, like poppers and
Maybe that's
and
something I should
wings.
do. Okay.
We could both do it. You could do one for your channel, and I could do one for my channel, and we can have a competition. So, because that's what you have. Oh, that could be we work together video, and then you'll have collaboration videos with two different YouTube channels, and they do the same video basically, but it's in two different like perspectives. And then I will prove to you that you are the better YouTuber than me, and then you should just take over
I'm
everything,
not.
and I'll just retire and be your key grip.
Sahil, the spicy noodles, even to you Indians, are going to be spicy because they are like, I don't know. They've got
It's not that they're not.
Not the ones that you guys did. There are other ones that are a lot hotter.
Yeah, a lot hotter, yeah.
That are like from South Korea that really do have some kick. The ones you did are hot, but they're not ridiculous.
Yeah. No, yeah. The thing is, the ones we had, I thought like they were super spicy, but they were so good. Like that's the thing is, you have all these. One of our friends, Randy Santel, has a food challenge stuff, and he does all kinds of things. And he's like, the hot wings and stuff. That's where you get the spices. That's where it's bad. And it got me thinking, like, there's so many places that just overdo the hot wings to make them stupid hot, and you're like, but it doesn't taste good. These super spicy noodles still tasted super good, so you wanted to keep eating because they were really good. So Chris O'Rourke asks, have you ever been to Germany for the Fasching? So Fasching is Carnival or Mardi Gras or whatever. I have actually been in Cologne where it has the biggest one. And I was dressed up. Yeah, my buddy Magnus and I we had a really good time there. Let's put it that way. It was crazy with the parades and everybody dressed up and all the drinking and all kinds of stuff. I actually have my buddy Magnus's father has passed away now, but he gave me this big, huge gold medal because there's the small town he's from has like a really big festival too. And so that's like the big thing, and I have it at my house, my parents' house still. So good times. Good times.
How many languages can you speak?
A few.
Some. Bonjour, Sultan in France. Will we continue to travel vlog? Yeah, we're getting back out there. We still have a lot of videos from previous trips, thankfully. So we can just keep doing stuff now on places that we've been.
I know your life is
that
so
we filmed
horrible.
while we were there. So yes, there's that. And then we're as soon as we can get back out, there's just so many restrictions we can't quite do it.
Yeah. So David Eccles, try a vindaloo and chips, very nice. So I used to do the vindaloo and the madras all the time. When I lived in Berlin, there was there's a lot of fantastic Indian restaurants in Berlin. And I would go to this one, I would go about 3 to 4 times a week. And I lived there for almost 3 years. So we became super good friends, and they would up the spice level for me all the time. And so when they bring out my food, you would see people start sweating as they walk by them to get to my table. And the other people oh, can I order his? And they're like, no, because he's been coming here for 3 years. We've trained him up on the super spicy stuff. And so I got to have super spicy and no one else could. But now I could not handle that. I couldn't handle that.
Jermaine, Mark is my best boy and my key grip and my gaffer. He is all of those things rolled into one. He's also my best guy.
Aw, thanks, baby. Alan, thank you so much for the super chat. Love the great quarantine chats, but here's to a summer of defeating prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. And
Absolutely.
And we've been trying to do that for years, and we're going to keep doing that. I was talking earlier about our trip this summer, where we're going to a bunch of civil rights sites around the U.S. and filming there, not just about the site, but if you're going to go to Cincinnati, you have the National Museum for the Underground Railroad, and so we'll talk about that, and then
really cool
other stuff that you can do there when you're there doing it. Like if you're going to Memphis for the National Civil Rights Museum, seriously. Awesome
One of
museum.
the best museums.
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps
fantastic.
remembering how amazing it was. But then we're going to talk about you have that. Then you can go to Beale Street. We have even more. There's the music and the food. So it's going to be you can see that here's the sites to see when you go see this civil rights site. So we're going to be doing that this summer on our tour this summer to try to promote more tourism. So then people when they're traveling around the U.S. you find out there's a place 2 hours away.
Can I make a plug?
Yeah.
We don't get into politics of any sort, but I'm going to be slightly political here. Don't get
this
mad.
one.
No, about Ossabaw Island. Ossabaw Island in Georgia it's a historic area. It's but it is possibly up for sale to become a distillery. Ossabaw Island is a plant. There was the Butler the Butler Island plantation, not Ossabaw, although the Ossabaw Foundation is involved with this. It is a place where the largest sale of humans ever, there's 436 people were sold at one time in the city of Savannah, but they were all from Butler Island. And that time is known as the weeping time. It was horrible. I mean, like if I know, I'm getting chills about this because it sickens me. If you read up on the history of Butler Island, it's incredible in a bad way. Like, it's not believable. But anyway, it is possibly going to be made, the plantation house and barn are possibly going to be sold and used as a distillery. This place is incredibly important to the Gullah Geechee people, who come directly from, they're descended from the enslaved people. It's like, to me, it's a critical piece of African American history. And there is a possibility that it's going to be sold and developed, and there are human remains. There's all these things have been done to scan the ground, archaeological stuff. I won't get into the nitty gritty of it, but there's a lot that's underground that is going to answer questions for people and for history, and it's really important. So if you care to, go and sign a petition with the state of Georgia. I don't have the link right here because I wasn't planning on talking about this. Well, you can look up the Ossabaw Island Foundation, and they will have information on where you can sign this petition.
And if you're watching on YouTube, I have the link in the information below.
Well, there you go. And you don't even have to be a citizen of, you don't have to be a resident of Georgia. This is important to history. This is important to all people, but especially to the Black community. This is huge. And I don't want to see that lost. And I would love it if you guys would get on board with that. So that's the biggest, closest thing I'm going to come to a political statement. So hugs. There you go.
All right.
So my adrenaline's up. I'm really angry about this.
Yeah. So, we'll go into a whole other topic.
Get me on something better.
Your favorite dream destination?
Well, Bhutan is one that I haven't been to yet. Bhutan and Ethiopia are two that are high on my list right now that I haven't been to yet.
Yeah, saw before. For me, the dream destination I haven't been to is Israel and Egypt.
Yeah.
Those are my two ones there. Another person asked, hey, what was your favorite trip of 2019 and why? I mean, it'd be Rwanda.
Oh, yeah, Rwanda and Tanzania. And
I would put Rwanda above Tanzania. But I would say
too.
Our guide in Tanzania, one of the best guides I've ever had. Moody.
Yeah.
Awesome dude.
I would put Rwanda above Tanzania also. Rwanda was all about the people. I mean, I didn't even have to spend time with them. I could just sit in awe of the way they were to one another. It was just beautiful. But those, I can't even separate those two trips because they were just so awesome. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's see.
Mark Finley, Kansas. What about Kansas?
Let's see, Adam.
Oh, okay.
So, Stuart Ross, do you travel with guidebooks or with maps? So
Guidebooks with maps in them.
Yes, I'm all about the maps in the guidebooks. The thing is, I used to take the guidebooks with me and walk around, but now I do so much research beforehand. I have the guidebooks. Like, we have a library full of guidebooks, and I read it all beforehand, so I have it all kind of down. I take my notes. I actually, if you ever see me traveling, you'll see me with a notebook like this, and in here I write my scripts and notes and stuff to see. So, I'll have, maybe example of one, like Don'ts of Alabama, or Don'ts of Atlanta. I have notes in here. Well, I put down stuff I'll make sure I'm going to visit, film, things I want to see when I do it. So I actually kind of consolidate it down. So I don't have 9 books. Because one of the things is I don't like putting all the stuff, guidebooks on my phone because it burns through your battery so fast. So I like to put my notes down in something that is not battery dependent, because as we travel a lot of places without...
I do use my phone for a map.
Well, for a map and stuff like that, but not... Because that's the thing is, when you would download a Lonely Planet book onto your phone, it really can eat up your battery for doing that. And then if we would go to South America or Asia and stuff where we're more where I really need the maps more, or other stuff, I don't want to burn through the data or burn through the battery life in case I can't do it. So
Indy Trini, yes, Rwanda is the cleanest country in Africa. I haven't been to all of the countries in Africa, but it is reputed to be. And having been there, I can say it is significantly cleaner than most places elsewhere.
Anywhere? I mean, dude,
I'm like trying to think of like Japan's cleaner. But only because Japan doesn't have dust. Like it's East Africa. There's dust, right?
Yeah,
but there's no trash.
It's cleaner than where we live.
There's no trash on the ground.
No trash. No, because in Rwanda, which you have to understand, in Rwanda, the last Saturday of every month, it's 80% of the population go out and clean that Saturday to clean up the country, and so
including the president and his wife.
Yeah, so it is. It's incredible how clean it is. Like we got out of the airport at like 1 a.m. I'm like, I would have no problem eating on the side of the street. Like it was unbelievable.
Actually, we got off of the plane and we were driving to our hotel, and my mouth was just open. Like I was not expecting, especially at night, because at night people are out partying and drinking and things like that, and so you expect people to be throwing trash and things like that, and there was none of that. It was, I don't know, I was just amazed. Cheesy bread. How can I visit Antarctica?
It's going to be, you can fly in for a few days, or you can take a cruise in. Those are two ways to do it. And some of the cruises will only like have you go for like part of the cruise will stop for like a day, but that the cruises never guarantee you can get off because if the sea's not good or something like that. So, but if you want to do the fly in and stay a couple nights, that can be extremely expensive.
They're both expensive and both can be canceled due to weather. And you may not get your money back. I don't think there's any way to make that a refundable trip. I have friends who actually, they were supposed to go, he and his brother and mom and dad, and they got halfway there, turned the ship around, and they don't get any of that money back. So that's big. And
that's what you have to look at when you're buying anything, is look at what the guarantees are and the things. Because just because you don't want to do it or you don't feel it's safe doesn't mean this is the rules. This is what you signed up for. So you have that. Thanks a lot.
Well,
thanks a lot.
I just want to move his scotch. There you go.
No, I lost it already. It's gone. So Dula 2006, big fan from Israel. Have you ever visited? We tried to go in November last year, and we had to cancel that to move it to this June, and that has now been canceled because of COVID. So hopefully we'll be getting there.
Have you ever been to the northern part of the Netherlands?
Years ago.
I've not.
Years ago.
Central and south.
Central and south. We've been a lot. Let's see.
Can you go up just a skosh, please?
Yeah. And Dratini's point, I remember the way the Japanese left the locker room at the FIFA World Cup when they were knocked out. It was so impressive that it made the news. Yeah.
They're seriously.
Yes.
Stop. What do you think the mutual travel situation will be between the U.S. and China in the future? What restrictions will be imposed? So
China?
This is something we should talk about.
So they're talking about more restrictions, not letting Chinese airlines come to the U.S. This is negotiation posturing. There's eventually, I think you will have the flights going again, and you'll have these things again, because the cargo flights are still going. It's the passenger stuff that's getting cut. But I think eventually it will be back. You already have visas, like Chinese tourists need visas to come to the U.S. U.S. tourists need visas to go to China. So they already have those things there. I just think it might just take a little bit longer to get the things set up. And there might be a little animosity for a little while, but I think long term it'll go, like, people go back to traveling like they were.
But I feel like it's governmental animosity. It is not the people. And we need to clarify that, because like when we were in China, which there wasn't much of this going on, but sometimes there were little bits, right? But the people, you never felt any of that between us.
Yeah.
So that's something that needs to be said.
Yeah, and I think, and someone had asked a question on our from our members, was like, do you think there'll be animosity towards international tourists when they start coming back to different destinations? I don't think you have too much, because we've all gone through the quarantine together. Mm-hmm. Like that's the thing, is you will have something to talk about with people. What did you do in the quarantine of 2020? I mean, you have a conversation topic for the rest of your life, from when you meet people. And I think people just be happy that tourists are back. So that's one thing there. Sawa was asking about a trip. They had like 2 days in Bruges, 4 days in Paris, and 3 days in London. Is that enough time in Paris? Yes, for that trip. Yes, you're fine with that.
But there's never enough time in Paris.
This is true. Tyler Cool Guy.
Hey, haven't seen you in a minute.
So Tyler Cool has asked, why are airlines using smaller airplanes for flights between major cities? Because there's not the demand yet. It's cheaper for them to fly the smaller flights and fill that up and do that versus having the bigger planes. It's just a numbers thing. That's why.
Have you? Nicole asks, have you been to Ohio?
So,
Ohio.
yes, I have. My entire childhood, our vacations were going to Toledo, Ohio, and Sandusky, Ohio. My grandfather lived in Toledo, and then we go see our friends in Sandusky, and we go to Cedar Point and the Wave Park and all that fun stuff. So that was my childhood.
I have to weigh in on this. Mr. Blonde is asking Mark Finley, which state rivalry, in your opinion, is the most heated? I'd say Kansas versus Missouri. In basketball, maybe. But I'm not even...
Basketball.
No? Is that not where they get
Missouri sucks at
fired
basketball.
up? Well, here's the big one. It's Georgia, Florida, and Georgia's better. And that's the end. Right, puppy?
And I think Darian would agree.
Darian would absolutely agree with me. At least on half
So,
of that.
Cheesy Bread, what do you think about Ireland in your opinion? I think it's a fantastic place to go. For people looking for a first trip going from the U.S. abroad, I recommend a road trip in Ireland is a really great way to do it because of the people, the sights, the nature of getting around and stuff. I think it's a fantastic option for going. We're actually supposed to go in the fall for a 10-day trip, so hopefully we can still do that. So, let's see. Okay, so...
He's needy.
Who's your needy puppy? Who's your needy puppy? Who's gonna slime me? Ugh. So, all right, moving on. Let's see.
Okay.
So, Baggy T, I'm looking forward to traveling again. I've planned for Argentina, but I think it might be a case of what country opens up first. I will go to as they have super strict restrictions. Yeah, you're gonna see what your plans are and what the law allows is going to be quite influential. Then be able to get the tickets. It's going to be tough. I mean, that's why earlier one of the people on here was talking about how their wife's a travel agent, and most people are just booking for next year. They're not even trying for the rest of this year. So there is that. Ooh, Mary Ellen. Yes, Jocelyn. Go Dogs.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. All right. So I'm going to call something out.
Rick.
I've seen two of our moderators have to say no political stuff, and we don't talk about politics. I know I just talked about signing a petition to not lose historic place, but that's not really political. We're not. We keep this world free of politics, and we talk about happy things, and we show kindness and respect to everyone. So if you can't do that, don't be here. Or don't say anything. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And politics isn't nice. Right? Right. Oh, Michigan, Ohio. That is a very big state rivalry, too.
Yeah, Ohio State,
that's right.
College football.
Yep.
Heather asked, do you have any trips planned for the remainder of this year? Yes, we do. We've got trips for Germany, France, England, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Aruba, U.S., New York. We have quite a few things.
New York is separate from the U.S.?
Well, I was thinking about our road trip U.S. and there's that going to Boston.
Separate.
Yeah, so there is a bunch of things going, but which ones we'll actually get to do? This could be different.
Colin, this is a great question. He said, have you ever done a river trip, shooting rapids, in a raft anywhere?
Well, we have done tubing down a river in Ecuador, in Mindo, Ecuador.
Tubing. It was like it's in our Ecuador video, isn't it?
Yeah, with the Ecuador videos, you'll see us tubing down. They'll be like, what are those people? Are these people on big tractor tires? Yes, we are. Literally
inner tubes from tires. Like the things are still sticking out. They lash like 6 of them together. The water is freezing. It's serious rapids. We have 2 guides. So it's the 4 of us and these 2 guides. We've all got our helmets and whatnot. And Liam said, when you get in, we got out of it. And it's, maybe 20 minutes? Half an hour? How long do you think we were doing that? It wasn't real long. It just felt really long.
Yeah, it was 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. So Liam says, for the first 5 or 10 minutes, you're just freezing, so you're not paying attention to anything. And then you're just scared for your life. And then he goes, can we do it again?
It was pretty cool. And there's a bit more of it, but the guys that were our guides, they were worried. Like, no, we have to get out here because it gets too dangerous going farther down for us. And I'm like, okay, there is that. So that was kind of funny. Mary Ellen said
at midlife.
Mary Ellen said they canceled everything except for October cruises. I hope to get to go. I hope so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm using Midlight like your hair. But when do I think Bali will open up to UK travelers? I honestly don't know. That's one of those things you just got to kind of follow. I think it won't be. I wouldn't think it'd be too much longer, in relative to other places.
Meets to Travel says, are there any hotel chains that you all are looking at more than others right now within the U.S. for your road trip? So we tend to stick with the IHG.
No.
What's the Holiday Inn group?
We don't do those very often. We usually do Hilton.
Do that. Oh.
Because I have all the Hilton stuff.
You have a bunch of Hilton stuff, but IHG is the one my sister has worked for, and we have friends and family stuff with that.
Yeah, but sometimes those friends and family things you don't get, so we just end up
right. You have to. Well, so here's the problem: you have to book ahead, and we're not very good at that.
Yeah, no, because our stuff is very much. Yeah, it's like that's one of the things. It's like we're driving by. It's like, hey, there's actually a cool site I want to see. And then we'll stay in there. Like, let's grab. No, I talked to the person at the front of the museum. They said go to Bob's for their whatever.
So we go to Bob's.
We go to Bob's. We eat there, and I'm like, well, I can't drive anymore tonight. Like, there's a hotel there. Let's stay there. So
yeah, you know what? But I did a lot of research. I talked to executives and people working in all sorts of different American hotel chains, and the big ones that they're all implementing some really good cleaning strategies and things like that. Yeah, we got to put that out. But so I'm good with with Holiday Inn and like the that group, IHG, the Hilton, and the Marriott groups. I know that their stuff is on point, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
So we got a couple of nice super chats. Thank you very much, Jennifer Benzine. We appreciate that.
I love your fist pumps.
Thank you, and then Paul Tipton, it's going well, my friend. It's going well. Thank you so much. Very nice. Delta Wick, love you guys. That's very nice of you. Okay, Melvin Gamer, is Cologne a cool place and how many days? Cologne got wiped out during the Second World War. It's just the cathedral, and there's a the Roman ruins museum that's right next to it. There's a chocolate museum you can kind of go to.
Beer's good.
Yeah, the beer's good there, but it's not like Berlin or Munich, where there's a ton to do right there. If you're going to do Cologne, I mean, really to see the main sites, you need a day to walk up and go see the stuff. But you can go over to Bonn, and Bonn actually has some really good museums, and it's right there. But you can use Cologne as a base to go explore a bit more. So you have a lot of stuff there, and there's a lot of transportation options from there. So there's that. I mean, I have a really, really, really old video on Cologne and Bonn. So.
Chris Bates says, I love whitewater rafting in Banff. Although everyone in my raft thought it would be fun to jump in the river, it was so cold, I thought my heart would stop. That's kind of how I felt in that river in Ecuador, because it wasn't just your toes went numb, like all of your skin was numb. Anything that was touched by the water, it was cold to be in there that long. So, have y'all done the Iceland Ring Road Tour? If so, any tips on accommodations, best time of the year to travel, etc.? So, Indy Trini, so we have, and we talk about it a lot because instead of going this one way, because of where we were staying, we kind of went this other little route, and on the map it looked like a little whoop whoop thing. Well, that whoop whoop was like switchbacks up and back up a mountain at like this kind of angle, and Jesus drove me up there. I mean, Jesus took the wheel for real. It was the scariest drive of my life. So don't do that bit. That was up near the East Fjords. And we did a counterclockwise circle. Everything we saw was incredible. What was that place? The Apothecary. It was somewhere up north. That was a really cool place that we stayed. It was a little pricier, but Iceland's a little bit pricey for what you get. Like, expect sort of hotel prices like in the U.S., but you're not necessarily getting that. You're going to get a very Spartan, basic sort of room. Food was pricey. Food was more expensive than U.S. restaurants, but so good. Like, literally everywhere we went, if we got fresh food, but we only got fresh food. Caleb ordered a fish at this place in what was that little out there west?
Yeah.
Snædlfjordur or something. Forget it. I can't even attempt it. Anyway, that is just north and west of Reykjavik. That was a cool place. But anyway, Caleb ordered a fish, and they're like, well, it's kind of bony fish. And we're like, it's okay. We'll work with him. And he's really good at eating fish. So, this guy comes in, and he's literally carrying the fish from the river.
It was their kid. He was like 14.
I know, it was their kid. Guy. Okay, he's a young guy, 14, 15 years old, comes carrying a fish. And that's my kids' dinner. So really fresh. Like the lamb is so good, and it comes from the farm down the street, and the sweater that you buy in the gift shop is from that same farm, but it was knitted by so and so's auntie down the street. The other direction, I mean, yeah.
The aunt knitted it. The
Yeah.
roll was from the uncle. What we ate was from the cousin.
Yeah. So Iceland was really cool.
Breakfast, by the way.
Better parent than I am. Accommodations were a little pricey, but like a lot of them were houses that we stayed in where you're like it's sort of like a B&B, but it's small. It's more like B&Bs in the UK than B&Bs in the US, where here B&Bs are massive old Victorians and things, and to pay for the upkeep, that's how people run them, right? So there's that. All right, Portugal in October. I think Portugal in October is, I'm not going to say it's going to be definite, but I think that you have a pretty good shot. So there's that. Brent Ross, thank you. And let's see. Chris says all major hotel brands are taking the cleanliness program seriously. Marriott, Hilton, IHG are on top of it. And yeah, I'm with you on that. That's my big thing. I'm putting my faith in those 3 big companies and staying there. So, yes. So people do go to Europe and purchase motorcycles and ride around there for like months or something, and then you leave them there because they can be exported to the U.S., but it's a huge it's a huge process. There's a lot of money involved. It is not worth the money you're going to spend, so people don't really do it. Would you recommend Leuven over Brussels? Yes, I would, Mr. Chills a Lot. I like your name, by the way. All right. Allison says, Team Marriott, we've been working hard to ensure our guests stay safe and healthy throughout this. Lots of new cleaning protocols being added. Yes, you have. I have been reading so much. I think I know the protocols in all the different hotels as much as some of the people working there. So, since you've been to Brazil, okay, Mr. Blonde says, Japanese Brazilian culture is really interesting. Since you've been to Brazil, what was your favorite Japanese Brazilian culture stuff?
So if you go to Sao Paulo, there's over 1 million people of Japanese heritage there. So when you have the Brazilian rodízios, the barbecue place where they cut the meat off, a lot of them will actually have a sushi buffet as well. And it's legitimately good. It's legit good sushi, but you have a lot of really good Japanese restaurants. In Sao Paulo, there's a museum of immigration, and they actually have a good part where they talk about the Japanese immigration from the last 100 years or something like that. It's really a really cool thing to check out. So if you're in Sao Paulo and you're looking for a really nice museum, the immigration museum is actually well worth it to learn about the Japanese culture.
There you go. What are you making for breakfast, Daddy?
Pancakes.
Okay, I'll make my own later. Yeah, pancakes. All right.
No, not yet ready yet. Sorry. I was just telling Mom what I was making for you.
Okay. Y2 Woody, go ahead. One of you guys put this person in a timeout because I can't see them. But if they're doing a lot of political stuff, please just time them out or silence them or whatever you guys do, because not cool. We're not doing that. We're not getting into that here. Is there a source that you use that consolidates the visa requirements for each country, or do I need to research each country separately? You have to do them separately.
Well, go to the State Department's website. The State Department will tell you what you need to do for each country, and that's going to be your best. I mean, it's one site, and you can go by countries, look it up that way. Right. That's what I recommend.
Yeah, but there's nothing like when you're applying for visas and stuff, you have to go all separately. But yeah, that's the place where you can go and find out what you need for where you are. So we were talking about small, Bruce asked, or no, not Bruce, Scorpio, Sue asked, what are the prettiest small towns in Germany? And Bruce says they all are. Rothenburg, is one. Rothenburg, we really love the Harz Mountains towns. So like Vinigooda, which is with a W, and I can't spell the rest, but it's like Quedlinburg is really pretty. We love Bamberg. That's one of our favorites. Regensburg? Is that no? I'm not. Is it Regensburg?
The thing is, they're not like when we're saying small. Like some of them are like Vennegold is like a smaller town, but Regensburg's not so small. Yeah. Bamberg's not small, but it's nice. Freiburg isn't small, but it's really nice to visit.
Yeah, sweet.
On the Mosel River, like some people do the Rhine River cruises. I like the Mosel River cruise better, and Kolkum's a nice little town to check out on your way.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Would you do Iceland in a camper van or stay at hotels, guest houses if you did not have children? Paul, if it were me, I would do the camper van. But not if I'm going anywhere near those mountains, because I would have a heart attack because I couldn't get up them. I was really grateful that we had a Wrangler and it was a stick and I could, downshift and get up. I mean, like that was just nice and easy. It wasn't huge. I would feel like I was going to tip off some of those tiny roads in the mountains and that. Mark is not really excited about camper vans and things.
But nice, and I could see why people would do it.
Yeah, because it would probably save you. I mean, yes, it costs more to rent than a regular vehicle, but in the long run, you'd probably save a little bit of money, and I think it would just be fun. We couldn't fit all four of us, but I think our kids would enjoy that.
Where'd all our Facebook people go?
I don't know.
Maybe we fell off on Facebook.
George,
I haven't seen any Facebook comments for a while.
Hi, Ticanis. I want to go to Copenhagen. Is it true they'll let you land, but not stay? I don't know exactly what Denmark's policy is right now.
Denmark's really strict still.
I don't know. So if you need to look and see what it is like today or when you're going to be there, because they're changing all the time. So I know at one point it was just connections were being made through Copenhagen. So you're going to have to look that up for what it is right now, or what their future plans are. All right. So you're welcome, Mr. Chills a lot. Means to travel. When we were in Argentina, it felt like all the sushi places had sushi that also included dairy in it. Really? Must have been what the locals like best. That's interesting. I don't know that I ate a whole lot of sushi when we were in Argentina. Maybe not at all. I mean, I remember being at places, but I don't remember eating a ton of it. Warmest place, Marie McInnes, warmest place and sun in Europe at the end of October. Would love to go when Connor has a week off school. Portugal versus Greece. So obviously anything on the Mediterranean. Greece, if you went to Crete, because that's about as far. I mean, there are other islands too, but they're smaller, so a lot of their tourist stuff will be it'll be light for slim pickings for places to stay if you're looking at it in October. But Crete is big enough that you can probably still find places. We have friends who run some apartments that they rent and also houses on Crete. It's called Microcosmos Crete. Microcosmos Creta, Creta,
The video is Our Typical Hotel in Greece.
Yes, that's the video. I did a video on it, and it was the typical place we stay in Greece. So do a Walter's World search on that, Marie, and it'll be really warm. The south of Portugal definitely will have a good amount of people. And things still open, probably. Not quite as warm as Crete would be, but maybe about the same. I mean, not terribly far off. South of Spain would be fine too. Southern Italy, the smaller places, if you went to Sicily, you'd be fine. But some of the other little places, in Southern Italy, in the boot, might not be able to get to see as much. So, all right. Bella, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh. What Bella says, love you. You're amazing and love your new channel. I'm French, Brazilian, and Indian. Weird mix. I think that sounds like an incredible mix. What kind, of foods and culture that you have all wrapped up in you. What an amazing thing. She lives in Paris. Well, you get to live in one of my favorite cities in the entire world. So what a cool ethnicity you got, what heritage you have. That's awesome. Vagabondy. Did you know there are only 4 colors of passports, and passports have some pretty cool art and designs? I like checking them out standing in security line. Vagabondy. I do the same thing. I'm always like, ooh, where's that one from? I don't know that one, you know? I always think they're pretty cool too. And people always throw me when they get those covers for their passports, you know? And I'm like, oh, I thought there was a new pink passport or, you know, whatever, but it's just a cover. Actually, our family likes to, you know, sometimes you get stickers on the back of your passport, and our family likes to like count and see who has more. Mark always wins.
I wasn't winning once.
I know, by like 2.
Because I got a new passport.
I know, that's it. But he manages to get it.
So Caleb got the last new passport, and so he had nothing on there. Where were we? I think we're in Jamaica. And the lady felt sorry for him, so she like put like 4 extra stickers. Now you look good, honey. It was awesome. Let's see.
Oh yeah. All right.
Anton, would you recommend visiting Lebanon? Do the research before you go. I know a lot of people have gone there, really enjoyed it. We have some people who really recommend us to go there, but I've not personally been, so I can't say.
Somebody was talking again about sushi and how in Chicago there's a lot with tempura in them, and I actually kind of like that, not because I need it to be cooked, but because I like the crunch in the middle. That's why I also like ones when they have like a good amount of like carrot or cucumber, just because I like the crunch. Feels good.
So, Mr. Chislop, because of quarantine, will you be able to do more trips when it's over because you're able to save money or not at all? It's gonna be the same for us because this is part of our work. So,
Klaus, hang on, don't move. Klaus
Jespersen
from 15 June, only Icelandics, Norwegians, and Germans are allowed to enter Denmark. These nationals are not allowed to stay in Copenhagen. Day trips are allowed. That will be in force until August 31st. So,
thank you,
George,
Klaus.
There's your answer. Thank you, Klaus. I love that you guys help this.
So, Mr. Blonde, obviously missing his travels, and Annie's pretzels and cheese and hot dog nuggets are what I'm craving right now. Seriously, my kids, like, they eat more of the Annie's anywhere, but only at the airport. We actually have one at the mall here.
They get
and so, like, hey! But it's like...
that airport place.
Yeah, but they're like, I think they like the airport ones better than the one at the mall. Hey, Ryan, good to see you, buddy.
Ryan's back, yeah. He was here a minute ago. Okay, so...
Hey, Lori.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
So Jimmy's saying Greece, Spain, Portugal, Malta, Cyprus, saying that
Malta.
British holidaymakers are not allowed to come because high case of corona spreading going on in the UK. Well, that's what they say for now. We'll see how things change.
Yeah.
Let's see.
My German friends love our U.S. passport.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that people,
pictures
like,
and
we
stuff.
all get excited about things like that, right?
Well, it's like anytime, like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to see what the stamp's like. I want to see the stuff that's inside.
Right. Jennifer Benzie, have you ever been rushed by your fans? A rush would consist of more than 1 or 2 people at a time.
No. We've never had that. That's kind of funny.
Have you ever, okay, hang on. Have you ever, you've spoken of the animals, but did you have any incidents with dangerous, creepy crawlies in Africa, picturing slithering and flying wildebeests or something? No. We didn't have any. I got bit by a tsetse fly, like for a second. I mean, it was just one quick bite. We had sprayed our clothes with permethrin, and I think I'm saying that correctly, and it really did keep the cootie bugs away. But there were not a lot of bugs, just generally. I didn't really notice any, which was great because there were lions on either side of camp roaring and a buffalo rubbing my tent. It's like, hey, I want to get close to y'all. Let me chew my cud in your ear. It was awesome.
That wasn't a buffalo.
It was a Markalo.
So, Sweet Girl 10, did you like Peru? Yes, we really did like Peru.
It was great.
I lived in Brazil and I lived in Argentina, but I still tell people if your first trip to South America, Peru is probably your best bet because the infrastructure, the sites, the food's fantastic.
Peru, I am in search of a good Peruvian cookbook because so cookbooks are a thing for me that like I'm careful about because I've been to these places and I need to know that the food is good and that the recipes are right. I often get recipes from people that we visit with. And so that's part of why I'm doing this Simply Jocelyn channel is because I get these and I cook them at home and things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and share this international cuisine, this globally inspired thing that I'm doing. I don't know how I let Mark talk me into that, but he did.
You talked yourself into it. Don't blame me. Tanya Collier.
Yeah,
hi, glad to see you again. It's 1:46 a.m. on Sunday. Well,
oh, bless your heart.
In Australia, will you come to Australia? Where would you go? So we are planning to go.
Wagga Wagga.
I gotta go. Well, we'll go into Wagga to go to Temora because I used to live in Temora, New South Wales, an exchange student when I was in high school. So we've got to go out there because I got to see my family, the Wrights, because they're awesome, and check them out. But most likely, it'll be more of a tourist kind of stuff. Go to Great Barrier Reef, Sydney, Melbourne. I really liked Adelaide when I was there. That's the town I love the most, doing the big city kind of stuff. Take the kids on a tour of the Outback. It depends on how much time we have. If we have a month, then we're going to see a lot. If we only have a couple weeks, then it's really going to be kind of focused down in the southeast part of the country. So we'll have that. So we'll do our best. It was a good time because like I said, I was an exchange student there many moons ago.
Bruce says, is traveling with your older son different now that he is a teenager? Well, only that he's a teenager.
Yeah, we still do all the same travel stuff, and he still is okay. He misses travel now. And the thing is, Caleb's starting to get that there is a difference being able to see this stuff. Like he's appreciating the cultures he's said, the people he's met, and like he's getting it's like he gets it. Liam's still pretty young. Liam just turned 9, and Liam. And it's interesting because Caleb we didn't travel like we do now when Caleb was really little. There's occasional trips, right. But like Liam, since he was born, he's been going. So I think Liam has kind of a different perspective because for him it's just part of life, whereas Caleb's like it's.
We eased into it more, but Caleb also lived abroad. There was something else that was there. That with Caleb remembers living abroad. Liam may have been born abroad, but like he doesn't really remember all of that. So I mean, he doesn't remember any of it. But every time we land in Lisbon, we fly and he goes, I'm home. It's so cute.
Yeah,
I love it. And we had him there, but we moved back to the States. He was like 3 months old, 4 months old. So, yeah.
So, Manalco says, your world travel experience ever come in handy when playing? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? It's helped with a lot of games that we played, like from Trivial Pursuit to, Jeopardy and stuff like that. And it's helped the boys in school, though sometimes their teachers don't know that they travel. So they're like, wow, you do really well at this. And Caleb's like, yeah. But Caleb made a point. He gets upset with his teachers sometimes when they say the city's wrong. He's like, they keep saying it wrong.
Or they get like a cultural thing wrong. Like they get like the gist of it. But he's like, dude, that's not really the way it is. But I hope he doesn't correct them. I know the ones he does correct.
Yeah.
I know the teachers he does. He's like, bah, 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 bah. But the others, he's not quite that way. So, yeah.
So, Sue Ellen, we booked a land-only tour of European Christmas markets for early December, and then we're going to bus down to Ljubljana, maybe Zagreb. Are we allowed to book air? You can book You can book tickets. If you're thinking about flying, I'd get the tickets, see if you can change it later, because those prices are not going to go down.
Yeah. And you know what? Vienna, Prague, Bratislava will be really nice. Yeah. Yeah, and you're far enough out, or you're close enough in. It's what it has to be less than 12 months for booking ahead, right?
Yeah, it's usually about 11 months.
Yeah.
Let's see, Sweet Girl 10, you guys are awesome. Thank you. My mom says the ants could be a problem. When looking at Africa, when I was filming in Tanzania, I had my tripod out and I was doing stuff, and I was filming, and there was one video. I was just getting eaten alive by the ants in my legs, but I wanted to finish the video. And they're just like, chomp, 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 chomp. And they finish, like, oh my God, it's done. It was pretty bad.
Would you travel to places like Chernobyl and Fukushima?
No. Oh. And I know there's people that are all into the danger travel and I mean, like, things like that. For me, it's not worth it. People want to see that, great. Let them do that. But I'm not. It's like when people ask, we don't go to war zones. We don't go to toxic waste dumps and stuff because it's not worth the little things. Like we don't
need
fly.
to risk
We
those
went
things.
we do like for some of our trips. Like look, they're flying over war zones and stuff like that. We'd be like, no, we're not flying that way. We'll pay more to go around, just because I just don't want to take the chances.
Accidents happen.
Yeah,
And
it's sad.
mitigate it where you can.
Yeah.
Right.
So George has actually been. I went to Chernobyl. I wouldn't recommend it. On the bus, they make you sign a disclaimer. Very suspicious. Yeah, I worked and I've been to Belarus and where a lot of actually the fallout was from that, and I've seen some of the ramifications that happened afterwards. And yeah.
George Haralambos, your name isn't terribly unusual, but you wouldn't be my dad's godson, would you? Because he does have a godson named George Haralambos. But anyway, so if you are, would you just say so? Yeah, anyway. All right, so, would your boys, Jennifer asks, would your boys attend the international school if you did move to Europe, or would you go for the Waldorf schooling system? I think that depends on where we are and, how long we plan to live somewhere. Don't you agree?
What?
International school or like a Waldorf school? I think
Oh, for the boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It would depend where we're going.
if
What's
we moved like next week to Europe, I would throw Liam into school, like local school, and make him fend for himself. He'd learn the language. It would come. He'd be all right. It would be hard for 6 months. But after that, he'd be fully integrated and be fine. But Caleb is old enough. I think I would put him into a school where he's got many languages around him.
Yeah, and it'll be more tailored for college prep because he's going to high school.
He's old enough now. So
yeah. So yeah, visiting Rwanda and Tanzania was probably our most expensive trip for doing that. Let's see. Oh
George
no,
said his shoelaces melted.
Yeah, in Chernobyl. So I'm not doing that.
Poop, dude, but not poop. The other words.
So, Colin, the Rwanda is reasonably priced, but the tour we went on was that because we always try to. Our pricey stuff is still not super pricey because we always are going for like the budget kind of stuff because just like everyone else, we're not made of money. So there's that. Scorpio soup, best things to eat in Lithuania. The
salty barshi.
Shalty Bashi, which is cold borscht. Should say it looks like Pepto-Bismol soup you have in the summer. It's cold borscht soup. That's fantastic.
I call it Barbie's bathtub.
Barbie's bathtub. You have a lot of carbon. Well, if you go to the trip, we actually have a video on Lithuanian food. There's zeppeline, which is like
So
they
good.
grate boiled potatoes and make it into like a paste. And they put a meatball inside of it and cook it. And they put sour cream and bacon fat on the top with bacon bits. It's really, really good. There's a lot of really it's heavy, but the thing is in Lithuania, you don't really have to say it's organic or non-GMO because Lithuanians don't touch the stuff. So like everything there is super like clean in terms of like non-GMO things. So it's really, really a nice kind of thing.
All right. Nate,
Yes, Kathy, it's me.
Nate Henson, what tips would you have on living abroad, specifically in Europe? How do you find jobs, housing, and more? I just finished an exchange in Switzerland, and now I want to go back living and working.
Okay, Nate, this is one of the toughest things. I have a lot of students that are in the same position you. They study abroad. I want to go back and move back. And I tell them, like, look, it's tough because you have to have a skill that they want to have to get you a visa to come there. And the countries, especially if you're in the European Union, they've got to have a European Union citizen or someone else from their country. Like, they have to give that job to them first. Then after that, it's a special skill. Like, that's why advanced degrees help a lot more. Like, I have a PhD, so it's a lot easier for me to get the permission because I have a skill that's a specialized skill that can go and be teaching or something like that. So what I've told is if you're finishing school, what I've actually said to quite a few of my students, like, look for a master's program in Europe. They're significantly cheaper than in the U.S. You can get the training, but also you're going to be in that country. And the thing is, the people in that country know what the people in that university learn, and so you hire people from the university that you know what they learn at. It's kind of like wherever you go in the U.S., the same companies come back to hire the same students because they know them. They know what they're learning. So why would I get somebody from a university I don't know and hire them when I don't know what they learned? So that might be a thing to look at, to look for you an easier path to get work permits and stuff like that.
Nate, we also have a bunch of videos on that, so just do a Walter's World Walter's World search.
Working abroad, living abroad, like they'll
on
come
YouTube,
up.
yeah.
Some and those are a little bit older because I have one on like 5 Love and Hates of Working Abroad. I talk about that, but then like also questions to ask yourself before you live abroad. I mean, I know you're just finishing school, so I'm guessing there's no ring on the finger or anything like that. But there's a lot of questions you have to have because you got to realize when you go to work abroad, it is not like you're on vacation abroad. You still have to pay your taxes and you still have to do, getting cable sucks no matter where if you want to get internet and stuff like that. So it's not a vacation all the time, but it is kind of cool when you're like, hey, I mean, you live in Lisbon. It's like when you live in a big city or a fun place anywhere in the world. It's going to be very similar. So,
have you ever been on vacation somewhere cold? Polar bear tour in North Canada. Check out the Northern Lights. I'd love to see a video of you guys in Alaska. I just sent for a thing.
Jane Paul writes.
You don't always say everybody's name.
Yes.
No, you don't.
I do better than
I'm
you.
going to point it out.
I do better than you.
You're better than me at everything. So anyway, Jane Paul, I actually just sent off for some information from Alaska. Actually, I did that when quarantine started. I still haven't gotten it. Don't poke me. So yes, I want to go to Alaska. I actually put that, but this summer they've got a lot of restrictions and things like that for right now. So, Banacos, will you continue to travel even after either or both of your sons are off to college? Yes. There is no doubt about it. We will definitely be, you have to use your hands to talk like me. We will absolutely be doing that. All right. When I love when I see food options from Lithuania, good quality. Yeah, I'm telling you, like the Lithuanian food is absolutely incredible. I was shocked at it. I did not think it would be so amazing. All right, you can do it now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other thing. Going back to the work stuff, Kim GK, work for a national company. You can get them to transfer you there. That's what I'm working on right now. Yeah, and that's one of the things you can actually, when you apply for jobs, you can actually ask and say, is like, are there possibilities in this? Because I have friends that did that as well. And so they didn't get to go abroad. They didn't get to go work abroad, but they got to go abroad enough that it kind of like gave them their little bit of fun stuff there. Oh. Let's see.
Priya looks cute in short hair. Thanks. There was a Priya on the British baking show that we were watching last night. She's been on actually, this has been a really good.
We're watching 2009. It's 2019 season.
Yeah, it's been
2017. It was 18 was kind of like not as good, but 19 like they're bringing it's nice. But anyway, moving on. Oh, hello, Dizzy Lizard's on. Lizard. What's up? Just waking up. Got Folgers in your cup. There you go. Okay, so Bruce Dimon. I think the funniest thing was the French kids who only got 4 out of 5 on the advanced placement test for French language. The essay was too hard. So this is one of the things that's interesting. So back in the day, I dated a German girl. And so she's like, oh, I'll help you with your German homework. And she got me B, like when she would like proofread and stuff, I would get a B. So I eventually had to tell her, stop helping me because I wanted to get an A. So I had to so I'd write it myself. But it was like, because it's weird to have because they're looking for specific things. So it is kind of funny. So I can believe the 4 out of 5 in the French language thing for sure.
Mr. Blonde says, how many post-Soviet nations have you been to? That's like a lot of counting, but a lot.
5.
Mark's been to.
Well, if you mean like the former Soviet Union, I've been to Russia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Belarus. Those are the 5 I've been to. I haven't been to Ukraine.
But did you get Czech?
That's not Soviet Union. The Soviet Union.
Oh, yeah.
That's the iron behind the Iron Curtain. That's different. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, right.
And there's that. Hey, Junior. Hope you're doing well. Let's see.
Alrighty. I'm struggling to read that because of the glare. It's just kicking me.
I'm sorry. So, Mary Mac, would a random spot coronavirus test at airports put you off from traveling? No, it wouldn't.
And they're not just random. A lot of places. Is it Dubai? I think it's Dubai, and they have been doing them for 2 months already. If you want to look at iata.com, not .org, you have to fiddle around to find the information sometimes, but there's a lot of good information there about what each country is doing all of the time. So that's a really helpful resource. I should have been telling people about that website for years, but it really hasn't come up until recently when all this has been going on. But it's a good resource. So
Mo asks, Mark, have you been to Luxembourg? We have. I've been there a few times. Really think it's one of the most underrated countries in Europe. Planning on a Belgium-Luxembourg trip next year. Fingers crossed. I'm not super high on Luxembourg because the service there is not so great. Now, it is pretty to go to, but I usually tell people a couple days Luxembourg City, go one more day to like venture out to some of the castles and stuff. But if you're in banking, it's a great place to be because there's a lot of benefits for working in that area. So there is that. I like Alexander's. Hey guys, what about reproducing the National Lampoon's Vacation? I guess you'll travel by car this summer. Oh, we could do that. I need to get the soundtrack on my.
There's two questions I want to answer. Okay. Indy Trini says, "What's the most daring adventure you did on a trip? Something that was outside your comfort zone." So the camping in Tanzania was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And not all of the places, just that one night in the Serengeti. We spent 3 nights we spent like 3 nights in
3 nights in Serengeti. But there's that one night where the Cape Buffalo were rubbing up on our tents and the hippo was outside and the cheetah jumped on the front of our thing.
The other thing that took me out of our comfort zone was the whitewater inner tubing with our children. And part of that was because our kids, Liam was 6 and not an amazing swimmer. And we're in rapids and I'm just like, that was
like one of the guys was specifically like, I'm watching him and I'm trying to keep myself up and I'm like, I got like Liam locked into my thing so he doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, I'll drown, but he'll survive.
Yeah, that was probably one of the scarier things. So Colin asks, what other hobbies do you have that you spend money on but wouldn't make a video about? So we don't have a ton of hobbies. We don't spend money on anything except travel and life. I will occasionally just go like last fall. Was it fall or winter? I used to do a lot of ceramics. I've taken ceramics since I was in high school in some capacity. Even in university I did. But I did take some wheel throwing classes. But I'd make a video about that. And actually Megan has this woman who was teaching me. She has this really great shop. And I think that would be a fun thing to do with her, just for something different. And it is international. That is part of human history, all over the globe, right? So I think that would be kind of a cool thing to do.
So Bonacos was asking if we're excited about all the sports leagues coming back. I am. Just give people some other things to look at instead. To feel real, because we've all been locked up here for 3 or 4 months now, and it's just getting back into the normalcy. That was one of the things is since like Illinois has relaxed a little bit, you got to go to the store and people are out, and it was like you could tell people had not interacted with other people for a while because the social interactions are really awkward. It was like
we are weird. My hairdresser and I were talking about that. So I got my haircut today, right? And we are both wearing masks. So she was like trying to kind of get right here, and I was like, I held the mask and I took the ear thing off so she could kind of do that easier, and then I put that back on. And when she got to the other side, held the mask, whatever. But we were talking about how like the most simple things are sort of awkward now. Like we're a little bit, we're all a little bit goofy, right? Because we've been stuck at home, or we've only had these relationships, our online ones. But you know what? Thank you all.
Yes, thanks for helping us stay relatively like normal in conversation.
It feels good to have nice, normal people, and keep going. So.
And there's some nice things like Musing in Midlife. Last week, she's posted some of these pictures on our member page and stuff, and she's like, I took my granddaughter to a tiny local zoo last week, and it was so nice to feel normal for a few hours. And it's going to be finding those little normal things again. Like yesterday, I went over to one of our neighbors, and we, sat on his back porch 6 feet apart, had some beers, and just kind of talked and stuff like that. I was like, that was really nice. And Jocelyn, because I went over to have like a beer or two, and I ended up staying there like 8 hours.
Seriously, you were there for 8 hours? Because I went to my girlfriend's to help her with paint swatches that she was looking at, and I was there for like 2 hours maybe, and I came home and he was gone. We'd only missed each other by like 10 minutes, but I was like, what in the heck? He never came home. It was really crazy.
I wrote. I told you where I was.
I want to point out a few things as my mother-in-law says, thank you, moderators, for your help with the trolls. I know you guys, it seems like you've probably been pretty busy today. I know a lot of you have had to make comments about people keeping their mouths shut about things we don't talk about here. So I appreciate all of you, and we should all appreciate you. Round of applause. Thank you. And Alan says, remember to click the like button. Actually, thank you, Alan, for pointing it out. It really does make a difference with the algorithm and all the like whatever stuff. And it's a simple thing. It's like one of those free things you can do to help people out. Just helps us. So we appreciate it when you do. So
Babs is jealous because her place isn't open yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, ours, it was like 2 weeks ago. My hairdresser is literally, she's like, I don't have anything free until mid-July. And from mid-July until mid-August, she's only got like 30 spots open in her whole salon. I mean, but it's kind of cool the way they did it now. They can have one person for every 500 square feet. So she can have 5 clients in her place at a time or something like that. So it's interesting how they made that. But
so Banako has asked, how would you have coped the last few months had video conferencing not been available? I don't know. I mean, honestly, those Whiskey Wednesdays, they were lifesavers for us.
It's the only adult conversation we had.
I know. Well, yeah, because we're childish. But it was really a wonderful thing to just have that. And we didn't have that. I'm going to guess I would have been super depressed and just really down because it's, because you really isolate. And that's why I'm really glad we got to do these live feeds during the lockdown and everything, because we got an opportunity for other people to have some normalcy, have some stuff. And we've made so many friends on this adventure. And I know a lot of you have made friends on here as well. So it's really, really a great thing to see. So it's nice. Gnosis, love your channel. Thank you. Where will you be traveling next? Ever been to Turkey? We were supposed to be in Turkey this last weekend. Sadly, we did not get to go. I've only flown through Ankara, and I've been to North Cyprus, with Turkish influence, North Cyprus. That's the extent I've had. We were going to do stuff this year, but alas, this
George, nobody is ignoring you. Things just fly by, and we don't always see everything.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I need to see this. Okay. No, it was you had already answered it. Yeah. I apologize.
So Axel wants to know, which U.S. city do you think has the best party scene? I'm going to say probably Vegas or New York would probably be the best ones there. When I was in my partying days, I was in Europe, and Berlin was unbelievable, and London. Those were my 2 favorite places to go and just party all night long. And Berlin's still, they still both are.
I'm sure London is too.
Vagabond, a friend of mine said he actually shook someone's hand out of habit, said it was the best feeling, and he couldn't stop thinking about it all day. It was like a first kiss.
I can imagine that. What the heck? I know. I'm going to be so grateful when I can hug somebody again. Like that's something, just not hugging people is a really hard thing,
So Giselle is asking, do you think traveling from the U.S. to Spain, Italy is going to happen? Yes, I think July 1st, someone was saying when Spain's going to open up it's supposed to open up, at least make sure you're checking out for non-Europeans. So there is that. Let's see.
Alan says, haha, I think Mark's down is probably close to my up. That is not, that's probably true for a lot of people. Mark tends to be a pretty effervescent and positive human being.
Yep. Let's see. That Esther just got Google reminded me that my flight from Sapporo to New York City is today, which I wish I was able to take it. I know I've had a number of those come across my phone. They're like, "Oh, you're supposed to be flying to Tel Aviv today," and I'm like, "Yeah, I was supposed to.
Thanks.
Oh, you should be flying back." Well, the Turkey one came on Thursday.
Mark Finley said, the Walters World private group is the only part of Facebook that I enjoy these days.
Yeah.
So when you are a member or patron, we have a special private group for members and patrons only, called the Superheroes of Walters World. And, I don't know, there's like 40 or 50 members maybe. And I'm telling you, these people are incredible. They've all come together like this. They're like this huge group of friends. When they start talking back and forth, it's like sitting at a really big bar with all your best friends. Like, it's just such a cool thing.
So Museum Midlife, thank you very much for the super chat. These chats have saved my sanity. Thank you. I'm glad we can do that. And Babs, we miss hugging our parents too. Hugo is really cool. It's a lot of letters together. Any plans going to Antarctica? When Liam's older, yes, we're planning on doing that. It's just really expensive, and we've got to figure that one out. But also, there's certain age restrictions Like there's certain things where you can go or can't go at certain ages, so we had to wait for Liam to be older. But that is definitely one of those ones you will see eventually on our channel and stuff. Mr. Chills a lot. When traveling, I like to visit big industrial locations like ports, reactors. It's really fascinates me. Sadly, these places aren't meant for tourists. Do you know some places? Well, at one of the, I went to one, there was a power plant that had a sauna in Lithuania, which probably wasn't a good idea to go to. I've gone to, so sometimes
really bad.
there's some things. I've done a few industrial tours because when I take my students abroad, we go see companies and stuff, and so I've seen some. And you'll be surprised how many places actually do have tours that you can sign up for, but they're usually like limited, like we only do it on Wednesdays, or it's got to be pre-booked, or a certain number of people, then maybe you can get in. So if there are industrial locations you want to see, and don't expect to be able to take pictures and stuff like that, so you want to be kind of minimal when you go to them.
Mr. Blunt, what are your favorite countries or cities for architecture?
Valencia in Spain has got a great Art Deco stuff out there, which no one ever talks about. And then you go there and you're like, oh my, that's so cool. But then also they have like the Museum of Science that's there that's just incredible. They use it as like a futuristic setting in a lot of science fiction shows. Buenos Aires, Paris, Rome, Prague, Buenos Aires.
Those are obvious. Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Savannah, Georgia.
Yep. Chicago,
mid-century stuff there that is just, I mean, world-class. I really want to get to Tel Aviv for that, too. I want to see, they've got some really cool mid-century stuff.
Oh, Giselle Rivera, someone else took it. There's two Giselle Riveras from Maryland. Someone took my name. That's funny. Sorry.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That is funny. Let's see.
Nobody ever takes my name.
Paul Tipton, I missed Whiskey Wednesdays, but I'm back at work full-time, and it's on at 2 a.m. for me. Yeah. 2 a.m. whiskey drinking on a Wednesday night. Maybe not good for work on Thursday.
Things are changing, aren't they? And back, but I'm going to miss things about quarantine, like Whiskey Wednesdays. I mean, maybe we'll still do them in our own home amongst ourselves.
So Hollywood in Lexington says, think of the moon to Mexico for scuba diving teaching. Anywhere you would recommend that aren't too expensive to live in, yet tourist enough to teach. That's the tough one, because where you're going to be where the tourists are, the prices are going to be. That's why what you'll see is a lot of people will go to places like, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, where it's a little bit cheaper because it isn't as developed. So maybe expand your search for places, not just Mexico, but other places in Central America.
Costa Rica, Nicaragua, things like that.
Yeah.
Banako says, is drinking in U.S. bars and pubs pretty much the same as drinking in international bars and pubs?
Hold on, let me check.
He's smart, Alec.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, yes. But you'll find that I feel like the U.S. does more theme sort of bars. But
that's true.
You have, though, in the end, it's people who want to hang out together and be social and, knock a couple back. And so every place has its own, I like dive bars in the U.S. a lot.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorites. So
and I think it depends where you go, because a lot of places just have bars that are just meant for drinking, and in the U.S. there's a lot of places that have more like food, because there's certain restrictions in what you can have and how much, like for what kind of liquor license you have. So Yosef Abbasi asks, since you have your trip to Istanbul, Israel and Egypt all got canceled. Yeah, it sucks. Are you still going next year, or in any new opportunity in the near future? So. We're right now we're trying to figure out, because the wedding we were supposed to go to in Italy this year has now been pushed back till next year. And once they set that date, then we will kind of start putting the pieces together.
And whether or not you teach.
Yeah, whether or not I'm teaching
summer class
in Vienna and those things. And so once we have that kind of down, then we can plan around. Because honestly, it's probably going to be our trip we had this year will be transplanted to next year. So then we can hope so then we can get Israel and Egypt and Jordan and stuff like that.
I was hoping to be able to throw Ethiopia in that, but it was just not feasible with the movement around and stuff.
It got to be cost prohibitive.
Yeah,
really. Because you can get if you're in Europe, you can get cheap flights to Turkey, you can get cheap flights to Egypt, you can get cheap flights to Israel, but it's not cheap to get in Ethiopia.
No, so a lot of Africa is expensive to get to.
And really affordable when you're there.
Yeah, so it kind of, in some way, it sort of levels out a little bit. But the Gallivant and Gals are back with us.
Rock and roll.
Glad to see you.
Oh, good. We have Facebook comments again. They've disappeared for the last, half an hour.
Hey, hi, Facebook people.
So Paul Holmes, hi guys. Any provincial towns in England you'd like to visit, revisit? So when we drive around England, I know you can take the the main highways and motorways, but like I like going off on the side. So for me, there's no in particular. I like going to like districts, like the Peak District and Lake District, and just kind of going through little villages and stopping off for a bit. And sometimes really it's just a crossroads and there's a pub and you just go there for a bit and talk to the locals and do that. So that's one of the things I like to do.
Paul also asks, have you ever met any heads of state or famous people while traveling? So I was on a flight with a rap star, going to go see him when he was living in Europe, before we got married. I've also met several people from heads of state of some sort, from Haiti, but that wasn't while I was traveling. I was working in Savannah, and there's a big Haitian monument because the Haitians, believe it or not, most people don't know this bit of history. They were our first allies for our country. And so there's a beautiful monument, and I had worked closely with the Haitian American Society and I don't know, was it their head of state, like the State Department, Secretary of State, something like that. I can't remember the name, the term that they use because it's not the same as ours, and it's been 12 years. But that was a really cool thing.
So back to the bar thing. So Mr. Means to Travel says, about the bar talk, I know that I'm much more likely to talk to people at bars abroad than I am at home. And I think
Really?
I think a lot of people are that way because like when you're abroad, you're like, oh, I'm abroad, I'm gonna have to meet somebody. But sometimes you feel more comfortable at my bar. I'm gonna sit here and do that. But I think in general bars, people are more open to like talk to people, especially if you're sitting at the bar by yourself and they're by yourself, like, hey, what's up, man? And strike up a conversation because people are, we all get a little lonely sometimes. Aiden from Facebook. Travel is great fun. Seeing other cultures and parts of the world broadens the mind. That's true. That's what we try to do in our videos. Paolo Van Roy. Hello from the Netherlands. Hello. I hope you are all well in the U.S. I hope you van travel again to our little but nice country, the Netherlands. And the rest of the world, thank you again for the best travel videos and the best wishes from the Netherlands. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We would like to get back.
I'm sure we will.
And we will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... It's so... Because we all are getting frustrated. It's like, that's another trip that's gone, another place we didn't get to go to, and I want to get back to it. So it is kind of a thing.
Are we personally traveling yet? Well, we went to see
Grandma
our
and
parents.
Grandpa.
We spent some time with them. But as far as out and about, not really. Partially because of restrictions still in the state of Illinois where we are. Also because we have a lot of work to get done right now. We have a ton of stuff happening for us personally.
Yeah.
So we got to kind of clear some of that out. And since this was the time we were supposed to be gone, we're actually kind of getting our feet under us. I know that sounds crazy since we've all just been cooped up in our homes for months, but
and I know, and for me, because I teach for my day job, I had to switch everything to online. So we had to finish that semester. Then I'm teaching in a semester course in 3 weeks right now, and this next week's the last week. So it's just been like so much of the actual doing. Anybody that's ever taught, no, it's not easy to get your classes ready. But imagine having to develop a whole new class. Now it's going to be online instead of face to face. Has really been quite the challenge. So.
So Dizzy Lizard says, I may have already said this, but I put a deposit on a tour in Morocco for December, half price right now. We'll get credit for a future trip if for some reason we can't go. Finally taking my niece on a trip.
Awesome.
That's cool. When you are in Morocco, we took an amazing cooking class with a chef Ilham, I-L-H-A-M. Fan de Piece. It's F-A-I-M-D thing, E-P-I-C-E, whatever. I'm trying to get it. I have a video with her.
Look up Walter's World Moroccan food, and Jocelyn, it's all in that video.
But so Dizzy Lizard, we took our kids, and they had a great time too. There were a couple down parts where they didn't want to do it, so they ended up playing soccer with the kids next door. Had a ball with them. Like the kids next door, we all communicate. The kids communicate through us adults. We pass our hellos and things back and forth. It's pretty cute. But that was a great thing because Moroccan food is so incredible. And Chef Ilham makes it very easy to learn. So I need to do that. I still kick myself for not having bought a tagine to bring home, but
We didn't know how to get it back.
It's not like we didn't have a lot of space. We were going to Portugal afterward. That just wasn't,
So Macia wants to know, how do you shoot your videos? Like come up with a script and other planning and any fun stories while recording. So I will go through probably about 100 vlogs, 100 blogs. I will go through guidebooks from Photos, Let's Go, Lonely Planet, National Geographic. I will history stuff. I will go through tons of videos. I will write people and our fans from these countries and like, hey, this is some ideas I have, like, and get an idea. And then when we go to the country or the place we visit, I don't film right away. I then stay for a while to get a feel for myself and feel like, is this really, like, what do I think? And then I put all that together and I have my script book. I write my stuff in here where I have my notes, and I'll make my notes for like the don'ts. Like I'll have it, this the don'ts of Atlanta, I'll have those things with some notes I'm going to make sure I talk about. And I prop up a tripod and put the camera on the tripod and I do my little chat. And while we're walking around, I will have, I'll have my phone and I'll record on my phone, like the B-roll and stuff as well. And so we'll do things like that. Yeah. So that's how I do those. Funny things while traveling. You always have the people that like be silly behind us and try to do stuff. And I still remember
the cops.
The cops. I got
several places.
Not several.
Beijing,
one guy came up. It was fine in the end. But like the small town USA, a cop came up to me when I was on
twice.
Well, yeah, but that was only one time when I was filming. But it was the same city, the same cop 2 times in the same summer. And he's like, yeah, I got a complaint of a guy talking to himself on the square. And I'm like standing there with a tripod.
And he's like, as soon as I walked up, I knew what you were doing, but I have to talk to you and make sure you're not crazy.
Yeah, and so I had to fill out the police report and all this kind of stuff. And
you're not ill, are you?
I'm like, so there's a police report in a small town about me being a crazy man talking to himself on the square, which is funny. So oddly enough, I did not.
We've been asked not to take pictures in places.
Well, no, that's because no one's supposed to take pictures in certain places.
Right, but not like real big things other than those two.
I remember there was one time I was filming in Switzerland and this guy was trying to make me laugh and be silly. So he was like, anything I was saying, he would say it back, but in like Swiss German, just to be a jerk. I'm like trying to film this guy's like, and we'll have people that'll come up and talk to us, which is fine. Like I have a video. There's guys from, I think from Moldova.
What was the one in Belgium? And you were interrupted like literally 6 times. It was great.
Oh yeah. That was in Bruges this summer.
Yeah, it was funny.
So yeah, it was nice when people come up, and we always, and that's the thing is I can always film again. Just come up and say hi.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. Collins asked, "What's the worst advice you've ever given?" I try not to give any bad advice. I'm sure there's been some people will tell you that, but I think the worst I ever got, people were like, never travel with your kids. And we've always said that's BS. Go travel with your kids. They might not remember some of the things, but you will, and you remember that experience.
And it trains them for good travel later. Plus they get that quote by Mark Twain that, travel is fatal to bigotry, prejudice, and narrow-mindedness. That starts from birth, like the more they go, the better it is. So, yeah. The gals were saying, and did I mention this because I read it and I thought about it? My ADD can't differentiate between what goes on in my head.
We hear the ADD story every week, so
because I have it, and this is hard for me. The gallivanting gals were saying it's really different packing for trips because they're like trying to pack masks and more hand sanitizer, cleaning supplies. I'm going to imagine it's going to be a little bit different, right? I'm going to lose some things, take some things normal carry, and add some different things in, it's gonna be different.
Mm-hmm. So bye Liz and Derek taking off, always good. Marie loves to travel as a family.
Bye guys, see y'all later.
We do too. Reggie and her man, hey, good to see you up on there.
We are today.
I know, people were like, dude, get to your stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Lee Bridges, wise not to try squeezing Ethiopia into a trip with several other nations. It's an incredible experience unto itself. Yeah, and that's the thing is like trying to find the time to get all these places in. And that's why it's sad that we've had to miss these things up. So now it's like, okay, we have to adjust because we want to get to some of these places because a lot of people are like, why don't you have videos from here or here or here? It's just, it's a main of time and stuff and have enough time to really do a good job.
Carmen Peters asks, why not ship things that you want to buy home? So I have, and I think you're probably talking about that story about the tagine that I didn't buy. The reason I didn't ship that was because we were going elsewhere, and I didn't want to ship it and it get here when we weren't here. That was the issue was timing, because it would have gotten here before us.
So Isaac Morris on Facebook says, is January too early to plan a trip to Ireland? No, not at all. I think you'll be okay doing that one. So that's one there. So Ronnie asks from Facebook, do you expect travel to be really busy next year since so many plans were canceled this year? Would it be better to travel this fall or winter or wait until next year? I think you definitely have a lot more people traveling next summer, obviously, versus this summer. And it will seem like a huge boom compared to this year. But I don't know if you're going to see like a huge spike. You're going to see a spike, but not as huge because so many people have lost their jobs and their income that there's not going to be as many people that'll have the money to do the travels.
It's going to change.
So it's going to change. So that's where you're going to see a lot of difference, I think. But I do expect, I expect the Parises and those things to really pop up because you're going to have people like, we missed out. I don't want to miss this time. So like the old standbys, I think they're the ones that are going to come back the biggest, fastest. It's those secondary and tertiary cities and places that people don't always go to. Munich will be fine, but the Bambergs and the Regensburg, it'll take longer for that, in my opinion, looking at it.
And Gallivant and Gal says, didn't it make you so happy to get your hair cut? We haven't been so excited for that as we were this week. Yes, I would agree.
I'm looking forward to seeing your dues, by the way.
Marie, we don't have an update on shipping to Europe as of right now. There's still like some clusters happening, but
for shipping for Europe, for Walter's World, we opened up a Teespring account because Teespring has production in Europe. So, like, if you want to get all of our normal stuff, that's on the waltersworld.store. Those things, it can ship to Europe. It'll be expensive because we can't get the same deals. That has a whole wide range of stuff. We've actually, on Teespring, we have a limited number of shirts. Like, there's a hashtag #ShutUpMark and Hey There Fellow Traveler options. There's a few things we can do with them. And they have production in Europe, so we really cut down the cost. So we have a limited run that can go there. And so when you watch our YouTube videos, you might see some pictures underneath. And you can click on that and it'll take you to the Teespring account. So you can get European stuff. I need to get a Walter's one up too. So
yes, my hairdresser was wearing a mask, as was I. That's like law right now. So everybody's wearing them.
Because they can lose their license.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever visited a soccer game in Germany? You have.
I've been to a number of games. When I used to live in Berlin, I went to a bunch of Hertha games, but my buddy Magnus was a huge Borussia Dortmund fan, and so we went to a few games in Dortmund for that. But then another buddy of mine was from Koblenz? No. Oh, it was like this small, tiny town. It used to be Karl Marxstadt.
Iceland Mama.
Iceland Mama. And so they got up to the top league, the Bundesliga, the top one. And so we would go to their games in this little small town stadium a few times. So good times.
Axel asks, will demand for cruises take off quick? So the Gallivant and Gal said that cruises are selling really well right now, which sort of surprises me because viruses spread quickly on cruises. So I wonder if the people who are diehard cruisers are booking. But I have a feeling those people who are sort of on the fringe of that are probably going to wait and see a little bit longer. That's my thought. So,
So Andrew Herzog decided to see the Aero C. Yes, what's left of it, that's true. Our Facebook. So Andrew Millam wrote, if not this comment, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. I'm sorry. Because how this, so what we get like what you're seeing here occasionally, like what we see is different. So it's a very interesting thing.
It's really bouncing differently today too. I feel like we're having trouble getting the multi-stream to be as fast as it should be. It's not catching things. So
so sorry for that. So though the internet connection is working. And the computer's working. We're not getting frozen.
Yes, Colin
There's
and
always
Marie, our husband and wife, and
they're cooties.
Yes. All right.
Okay, so Jennifer and Benzie, what documentaries have you guys seen that are good for educating your kids on world events, past and present? This is where we use a lot of YouTube, because like with Liam, it's a lot of science stuff and and Caleb does other things, and we kind of use those like in the 5 to 15 minute long video stuff because with kids' attention spans, we kind of get them that way. And so like with Caleb, we'll be talking about stuff like Caleb right now. He just started a book that's about kids during the Second World War fighting against like what were kids doing to like go against the Nazis and stuff like that. And it's historical fiction, but it talks about a lot of stuff that was happening, and so it's kind of like, oh, this is interesting. So then we're like, a gentle push here because you can't tell your kids do this, and they're like, no, I'm not going to do it. So it's kind of like, oh, hey, here's something I found you might like, and that's kind of helped out.
Why do locals in other countries sometimes get mad when they learn that your first visit there was to a McDonald's?
Because they're like, why did you come here for that? I'll be honest with you. I have students of mine, so I usually take one group of students abroad a year to teach a class or just to show them a culture. And it's always like the first day we get in, I'm like, hey, because we get to the hotel, drop off the stuff, like, hey, y'all are free. Meet back at 6 o'clock. We're going to go for dinner. And I take them to a local restaurant, like, or something really typical. Like in Vienna, we always go to the Schweizer House, and they have Schnitzel, which is like pork shank, like the big, like where you have the bone and when people get health in a video game and it looks like the ham hock, it's that. And so we go there for that, and we'll meet the students beforehand. And honestly, about 30% of them, like, yeah, we went to Burger King or McDonald's. I'm like, why? Like, there's like 500 restaurants between here and there, and you went, why? I mean, I understand. I can understand people after been traveling for a few weeks. You're like, I just want something I know from home.
Something from home.
Yeah, and the thing is, the people that like complain about McDonald's, all Americans and their McDonald's, they always have to eat that. I'm like, you realize there wouldn't be McDonald's all over the world if it was only Americans eating it. Like locals do it too.
But also McDonald's are different everywhere, so it's kind of a cultural thing. Like it's kind of interesting to see how it's different from wherever you live.
Yeah, so Sam and Audrey, they're another YouTube couple, and they'll actually go, like they'll say, oh, McDonald's in different places around the world, and some other travel people do that because you want to see some of the difference. Does it taste different? But the thing is, the standards like the Big Macs and stuff like that is like, I'm just hungry and I want to know what I'm getting. And that's where people end up doing.
The gals said they had our internet issues yesterday. I'm sorry about that.
Bochum is kind of Vedstadt.
Colin.
I have been to Bochum, by the way, Max, but no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'll look it up real quick.
Colin wants to know about what's coming to our gear shop. So we've been talking to the guy that runs that stuff for us a little bit. We do have new masks. We have masks there now. But because of like shipping and supply things right now, we're not doing a whole heck of a lot of new different stuff. And they've just been able to like really start printing.
There are Pause the World stuff to raise money. Like they only got to start printing those like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, people just got theirs like in the last 2 weeks, right? So they've got a lot to work, just to get done. So we are not putting anything new like t-shirts out for probably, I've got some designs, so those probably won't go for a few weeks.
And that's why I like the hashtag Shut Up Mark and Hey There Fellow Travelers little stuff with the little Walters World logo on the back. That's why those are on Teespring, because they can handle it easier than our people can here. So that's why there's been a little bit of stuff there. Yeah. But there will be new things coming, because we had plans for like travel bags and all kinds of stuff so you can carry your stuff together. But right now, it's not a feasible thing. And the person Max was asking, it was not Bochum, it was actually Cottbus. So my buddy was from Cottbus, and so we went to Cottbus quite a few times for games, which was funny because it's like going from, like a big major league stadium to like a single A stadium, like in comparison. So it was kind of funny.
KemGK says to Mary Ellen, I'm one of those people that wipes down everything on a flight with Clorox wipes because I'm always getting sick after flying. I do that. The other, like, your armrest, your tray table, like the TV screen, whatever. But the other thing that I do that really helps me, and I don't know, I am not a doctor. I'm going to preface it with that. I use saline spray, because one, it gets really dry in there, that recycled air. But I don't know if that just kind of keeps things moist and rinsing things down. I don't know what happens, but that seems to help me a lot too.
So Michael Mann, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Says, thank you so much for doing these chats and for keeping us all sane during this travel drought.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you for being one of our big supporters. We appreciate it.
Oh, Mark Finley says, Teespring has long shipping times. I'm still waiting on my Shut Up Mark shirt. Yeah, it's
sorry.
And that's the thing is now we're having. I mean, it's going to take time because the supply chain stuff, and the reason why I had that one on there is because they were that the Teespring was more to get our European fans a chance to buy stuff. So
Baggy T was asking about hobbies. So Mark's hobby is Walter's World. It's just become so much more than his hobby. But that's what this sort of started out as, just something he enjoyed doing to spread good things and good information, and now it's become what it is. So that's a thing, right?
Yep. So Scorpio says, hey, once you start traveling again, update what to bring. Type video would be great. We will be doing things like that. There's one up there. Yeah, don't forget, for those of you who've clicked like, we really appreciate it. Feel free to click like. And actually, again, if you could do something for us, if you could find your favorite Walter's World video and share it on Facebook and share it on Twitter and things like that, just to get some more positive travel stuff out there, we'd really appreciate it.
Yes.
And Mo points out, the tray tables and planes are apparently dirtier than the toilet seat. Yeah, they're pretty nasty. But Gallivanting Gal points out it's even worse when you go in the pocket thing, because
my God,
I reached the pocket, I'm like, it's like melting my hand off.
Dude.
Pastor. Oh, yeah, I'm not even gonna go there.
Oh, okay.
I ain't going there.
I didn't mean that. Okay. Boo, new to this chat. Is travel open again? In short answer,
no.
Some places, but not really, and not everywhere. And we have, if you have specific things that you want to ask about, specific places, Boo, we're happy to help you.
Well, we can. And that's why it's restrictions.com, I think, has a bunch of stuff talking about things. About different things up there. Yeah, so Mary Ellen, I talked about the TSA changes. We actually have a video how airports will change. You can check out that video. We've got how airlines are going to change. So we have videos on that already out there. We're going to be filming our... we'll have the hotel one out soon. And TSA yesterday came out, or 2 days ago, came out with their new restrictions. And you still have the 100 ml thing in a quart bag, but you're also allowed to bring up the 12-ounce bottle of a hand sanitizer with you.
Can't I just bring like Lysol spray? That would be cool.
Well, that's under pressure, so it can explode. So I'm going to doubt it.
No, you can get Lysol spray that's got the squirt that is non-aerosolized, because I use that a lot.
And Trini, I don't have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, just YouTube. And you're here with our thing, and if you can't share it, that is totally fine. We love having you here, so thank you.
Yeah, and you've had some really great questions today. Thank you for that.
Kim GK, I will definitely share videos. I have so many. I'm going to throw out some U.S. ones for my friends, since summer travel will be tough this year. I'm glad. And we're trying to get as much stuff. And like we were saying, we're going to be doing our U.S. tour that we're going to do in the summer. We're going to hit a lot of civil rights sites to get people like, hey, here's some civil rights things you can see and enjoy, and some of the city around there, so you can tie it in to make it more part of your travel and to help out and bring, more and more stuff out there, more understanding.
Vlok Schlappen says, I have a trip booked to Japan for December. Should I consider canceling or continue as planned? I would wait and see what the restrictions are then. That's pretty far out, so wouldn't cancel it now. But wait until you get a little closer. And, a lot of places, airlines, hotels are giving you the chance to rebook. So rather than cancel, a lot of them are saying, no rebooking fees or something like that. So keep that in mind if you need to do that.
Yeah. And Gallivanting Gals was nice to point out, put on a playlist and let it play. And that's not just for us. That's for any YouTubers that you like. I mean, sometimes you just put a playlist on and listen to it in the background. I mean, that those views do help them out.
I do that. I've done that several times for the Gallivanting Gals and Trip Hacks DC, just randomly letting people's videos play, because a lot of us, especially travel vloggers, our views went down. I did it for Growing Up Without Borders too. So I just put it on play at night on my phone and stuck it over there and let it go.
Yeah, and
Why not help our friends out?
There's that, but there's also I like having it in the background just so others on there, because some Gallivanting Gals, I'll be listening oh yeah, wait, this is the RV one, and I'll pay attention for a bit just to have more kind of stuff out there.
And I do that.
So
I do have it playing often when I'm working on stuff. As long as I'm not reading, I can have other things playing. So yeah.
Mark Nickerson, I can make you say no. With the pandemic, will coach airplane food become delicious again? No.
Mark.
Thank you, Mark. I needed that, brother.
Mark.
I hope you got this. Mark, the Shut Up Mark is on if on our videos below, you can get a Teespring.
Mark's a funny character. He's often I've been posting these interesting, or what I think are interesting questions on our main Facebook page, and Mark has always got some funny, snarky comments back, and I love it. Makes me laugh.
I think another thing for everybody to know is the key dates in foreign travel coming up and travel in general. June 15th and July 1st are two big days where you see more stuff opening up around the world. So make sure you're checking out what's going to happen on those dates in your destinations where I think you're going to go. Thank you, Marilyn, for binge watching all of those podcasts and other people's channels. And that's the things. You don't just have to share ours. Share the YouTubers you like and stuff like that just to share some positivity out there. Colin says, you both do an outstanding job doing these chats. You're both incredibly patient and generous with your time. Thank you both. Well, thank you. Thank you, Colin, really for being there for us. It's nice.
Yeah, that's very nice of you.
Oh, Axel, unpopular opinion. Airplane food is not as bad as people make it out to be. It's not, I would say it's not as horrible.
It's an unpopular opinion, but not a divisive one.
Yeah, it's not as horrible as it used to be. It's kind of like you're not getting kicked in the balls anymore. You're just like stubbing your toe really hard. Like, okay.
It's dry, bland, and over-salted.
And the thing is when you're in the air, how the taste particles on your tongue are different. It's just one of those things. Like
I'm going to disagree with that because we've been moved up to first class a couple of times. Like we've gotten the free upgrade. And I've eaten steak on a plane that was excellent.
Yeah.
Day.
Well, we got my mom. So I was with my parents, and we were flying back from France. And somehow we all got upgraded to first class on Air France. And my God, it was amazing. Like duck and steak. Oh my God, it was fantastic. So like there are some good stuff out there. But usually we're in economy stowage, so it's not really that great. But I'll give airlines a
Shut up, try. Mark. The gals are leaving. I need to tell them something. So thank you for joining us, and please do DM me for more information on Savannah and Charleston. I know I gave you 1,000 things in Savannah and like 1 million restaurants to eat at, but they're all good, and I stand by them. If you want me to help you prioritize them, I'm happy to do so. Okay.
So, Benalcos, do locals in other countries sometimes tell you that what they know about the U.S. through imported American movies and TV shows? Oh, all the time. And that's how people...
Hi, Mr. Blonde.
And that's how a lot of people get their impressions. Like, I see a movie on this. Like, I was in the Shetland Islands, and there's a series called Shetland where it's all like murder mysteries and stuff and bad murder mysteries. And they're like, is Shetland that bad? I'm like, I think Shetland's had there's no crime there. So you're like, no, there's more...
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
They do not reflect one another.
Yeah.
Esther J said, it just ran away. Oh, there it is. Stop. Esther J. Lee. What is your opinion on linking countries for a long vacation? I have so many PTO days. Good for you. Now that I am planning 4 countries in one trip, you absolutely can do that. And depending what the countries are, you may not have to spend a ton of time in each of those places. So we do it all the time. We might go we did that one trip in 2017. We were in Finland, Sweden, Russia,
Estonia,
Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia,
Scotland,
Spain, Greece, Italy.
Did we fly home from Greece? We flew home from Italy.
I think we flew home from Italy. We were in 10 countries in 8 weeks. But let's just be.
That was a crazy summer.
It was nuts. But let's be honest. We didn't spend a ton of time in Latvia and Estonia. We could have spent more.
Because and the thing is,
we were
staying with friends. So we're like, friends and fish 3 days, right? So it's like 3 days with one of our friends in Stockholm, and 3 days with some friends of ours here, and 3 friends there.
And
3 days there. And so we see other places, but there's like when we see our friends, it's like sometimes make a point just to see them.
And yeah, that's absolutely true. But you can certainly, we're all about linking them in, but don't go crazy, know your limits and know, when you're researching places, know how much you want to see. If it's ton, well then, you maybe don't do as much.
So a couple on here I want to get to, if I get a chance to talk for a bit.
Whatever, shut up. All you've done is talk today.
So Colin points out yellow, dude, that hurt. You got me with your fingernail. Dang.
Oh.
I'm in pain. Ow. Yeah. Don't even touch my ears, woman. So Colin points out Yellow Productions. Yeah, Chris at Yellow Productions. I really like him. I was talking about a live feed the other day. We might do something with him. Turn It Up World, Tanya and Dave. Going to try to get them on for a live feed too, so we have some more people on there. Sawa, kind of a new traveler. Is it true long haul flights you have to get up and walk, or blood clots are possible? Yes, actually that is. We always recommend getting up like every hour and a half, 2 hours. Like between movies, get up, walk up and down. I'll actually stretch out a little bit. I mean, it's not like everyone drops dead. Don't worry about that, but there's just something to think about.
Good. And the Gallivanting Gals just got a couple of new subscribers, so that's very cool. I'm glad.
So, Indutrini, thank you very much for the super chat. Thanks for tips on Iceland, and I appreciate you all rejecting sponsorships who try to deter you from all providing honest reviews and insights. And we do because
Thank you.
That's what we're for. And I mean we're lucky because I have a day job and we can pay our bills and stuff. But I understand YouTubers that do that because that's their living and their livelihood. And I've seen some of the things that these people charge for posts, and I mean it's crazy what they'll charge. Oh well, you want to be on an Instagram story? We want this, and you want a video for that, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Chris does watch our videos from Yellow Productions, so we've chatted a couple times.
Mo says EasyJet sent me an email about their Europe with Confidence pledge. They're promising increased hygiene, etc. But I want that to be the norm, pandemic or not. Mo,
Amen.
I think we all do.
Amen.
We are all in that boat, dear, for sure.
I am right there with you on that one, my friend.
Yeah, definite thing.
So.
All right.
So compression socks. I like compression socks from Duluth Trading Company.
We both have those.
Those are the ones I like. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at sort of Kathy
and
Walters.
you know what? Let me tell you what's not cool. Compression pantyhose. Especially when you're 5'3" and they're meant for someone who is much taller than you. Because I put those things on. And I was like, I'm just gonna see how they are. I'm not gonna put these on. I'm gonna wear them before we get to the plane. I put them on. First of all, they came practically up to my neck. They were like
that.
enormous.
I was like,
I got them all the way up, and I'm like, okay, this is really time. I'm just gonna see how it goes. I made it about 45 seconds, and I was like,
and you couldn't get them off either. Then you were freaking out. I'm like, oh my god!
Got scissors. I was screaming.
Yeah,
it was
horrible. Bad. And I was like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doing this to yourself? It's like you when you put on turtlenecks when we fly. Why do you do that?
I know. So,
you freak out.
But this is why I tried them on before I flew, dummy. I was smart to do that instead of wearing them. I wouldn't have even made it out the door, though, quite frankly.
I would have been like, nah, I'm not doing this because you're going to lose it. Again!
It was so bad. I mean, I was like claustrophobic. It was terrible. And I'm not even really claustrophobic. It was really bad.
So...
Yep.
John Anderson, Mark, asking for a friend, is booking travel on a freighter viable for travel on the cheap? It is. You can do that. There's a number of YouTubers you can do that actually focus on that. I can't think off the top of my head right now, though. Dang it. Now, Caleb's playing Fortnite or something down there, so they kind of lost my track of time. Sorry about that. But no, there are ways to do that. It just takes a lot more time, and then how you do it with the ports and stuff. But it is doable. It's not like a huge popular thing, but it is something that can go on. I don't know how that's been affected by COVID and stuff like that, though. So there is that. George, Mark, just want to thank you again for your advice to get to Madeira. My offer show you goes who still stands. Thanks, George. I appreciate it. We'll get there one day. Would you rather be a billionaire and never be able to travel or not? I'd rather travel.
What?
Billionaire or never travel? I'd rather travel.
I'd rather travel.
So, Dizzy Lizard, on your recommendations, I got the compression socks for Duluth Trading Company. I really like them. I do too. And the thing is, Duluth will have thinner or thicker ones. So I actually have compression socks I use when I fly in the summer that are thin. Then I have one when it's winter that are thicker, so it's warmer. So there is that.
Bye, Jimmy.
Oh, Marie, the pizza just arrived. All right, wine and stuff. Jimmy's out. Later, Jimmy. Oh, back me, you're a good son. Good man, good man.
Come back into my house. Nobody else does. Well, Mark does.
Thank you.
Our children don't.
No, I'll give you that. Oh, yes.
Doxy girl lover.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I'm taking my 16-year-old niece and her best friend, who is the same age, to Paris for a week next summer. Any suggestion what teenagers would like to see and do in Paris? So there's some, like the normal site stuff, they'll enjoy that, but they're going to get their pictures, their Instagram type pictures. So you got the Eiffel Tower and stuff like that you're going to obviously have to do. But the shopping and going to see the stores and the boutiques, that's going to be a really, I think, a highlight one there. There's also, if you look up Paris with teenagers. There's actually lots of books and blogs about that, so you can do some research beforehand. Also, ask them what they would like to. You were eating, so
I'm done, and I was trying to get your attention so I can talk because they're girls and you're dumb, aka boys.
Both true. Both true.
I love you. So, yeah, there are tons of really cool experiences to do. You can find Airbnb experiences. Always pay attention to, the reviews and things on them. But there are like perfume making classes. There are cooking classes. There are food tours.
The art class. That was cool.
Caleb and I did an art. We did en plein air. So we did oil painting behind the Eiffel Tower last year, and it was incredible. And
it was behind Notre Dame.
Or behind Notre Dame as I'm looking at the painting over there. Anyway, so really cool thing to do. And the shopping is incredible. The big stores like Louis Vuitton and all of those kinds of things are fine, but you'll find really amazing things and at much better prices in the boutiques. So there's a boutique I love to shop at. It's called Heroines. I think there are like 4 or 5 in the city, but it's like limited edition stuff. They only make a run of so many different things, and really cool, but tons of artful things that are different. So look into that.
So a few quick ones on here because a couple went by I wanted to get to.
Hi, Donald.
Some people are taking off. Some people have exams.
Purdue.
Someone has thermodynamics exam, so I have to go by. Bye, Mr. Chills-a-lot. Good luck. Baggy T. He's got a family quiz at 6, so that's in a little bit. Trying to find an excuse to carry on watching Walter. Any tips? Well, we're going to be off here in a little bit anyway, so don't worry. You can be with your family, my friend. Don in Scotland, good to see you. Philip in Boston, good to see you, buddy. Let's see.
Esther J.
Yeah, that was one of those. Oh, so Esther J, yeah, because you commented us a few times. I wanted to get to this, but it's one of those you always get. It's weird. So Esther, do you think buying flights with points will cost more or less after COVID? It will. I think it will cost more for a while because that's one thing I'm worried that the miles won't be as valuable as they used to be, at least for now. Because you had all those people like Delta. You're like, hey, whatever you have this year, we're giving that same status next year, no problem. So it's going to be a little bit different. But I personally feel that the miles won't go as far and for the short term. Long term, I don't know, but short term, because how the prices are with limited supply, how the prices have gone up, and a lot of them use their miles based on the dollar amounts. So
Scrapnick says, have you done road tripping through different countries and how was it? We have road trip through Ireland, Scotland, Wales, England, France. Where else have we? That wasn't.
Well, I've done other ones. I've done
like with the kids, we've done more than that. With the U.S., of course. Anyway, we
Canada.
loved it. We enjoy road trips because we can kind of do whatever the heck we want, and we don't have like a huge schedule to keep. So it's really cool.
Colin, I'm glad we can be on a Saturday morning, so you guys don't have to have the 3 a.m.s on a Thursday morning kind of stuff. So I'm glad that we can do that.
Ryan's in Quincy, and Kathy's like, we're in Quincy too, except that Ryan's in Quincy, Mass.
Quincy, Mass, and she's in Quincy, Illinois.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Funny.
Oh, Elwood's on here. Oh, Elwood took off. Later, Elwood. Good to see you. Anyway.
Oh, bye, Elwood. I'm sorry.
So we're hitting the 3-hour mark of our live feed, and it's a Saturday noontime. So.
I'm starving. I ate the last sea salt covered chocolate.
A non-paid sponsorship. If you're ever at Sam's Club, get these caramels at Sam's Club. Their Members Mark caramels are so good.
I think that
legit.
This is like, I think it's like $9 or $10, and it might be the best $9 or $10 that I eat for like 3 months. It takes me a long time to eat it. All right, so we're gonna kind of wrap things up. I'm starving. Like, I am so starving. I'm gonna go make me some Alton Brown eggs.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we want to say thank you to everybody for all your support through the years and today and everything. And we're excited to have some more content coming out, more videos. We appreciate all the super chats, all our members, patrons, all the people that watch, like, subscribe. If you can share videos, it's fantastic. If you want to know more information about what Jocelyn was talking about before for supporting the cause in Georgia,
for Osceola, on the Butler Island and Butler Island.
Yeah, if you go to our YouTube version of this, there's a link below to talk about the Osceola Island Foundation to find out more. But just want to say thank you to everybody. We really appreciate everything. Thanks for a really great chat. Thank you to all of our moderators. and everybody out there. And please, if you get a chance to share one of our videos today or another travel video, share some travel stuff out there. And let's all stay positive and keep being good people. So we'll leave it at that. Solving the Enigma in Rhode Island. You're just getting on and we're just hopping off.
Oh, sorry.
So we're going to take off. Thanks everybody for so much. And
Goodbye, guys.
And realize when we say bye here, you're about 1.5 to 2 minutes behind us. So like people saying thank you, like Mo and stuff, and Michael, we appreciate it. But after that, that's where we're signing off. So we love you all. Reggie, your man. Everybody
Bye.
be good.
Take care, everybody.
Until the next time.